What up?
I need that sports encyclopedia. Where you at, Steve Kim? Got Trent in the cut.
Coach JB.
Yeah.
Where you at, man? In the gym shooting, I'm Durant. You ain't shooting John Moran.
Darnell is the Ball State legend. I'm the Warren Central High School legend.
I'm proving with a reliable source, straight from the mouth of the horse. Smitty and JB and Smitty from West Coast to Yost.
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
Better stay in your lane. How did
You are fucking insane. Dude, what? You just will not give this guy his flowers. What is wrong with you?
Oh, you must have thought I was a bitch.
I am him. You's not it. What's the topic? With your logic when I flow. Big Komodo, how it's talking.
You gotta get back to letting the baby cry a little bit to see if they can soothe themselves.
That's a bar.
Issues get pressed so fast, you don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown, killed it, yeah, it's a rap. We what the game's been missing, we switched it and filled the gap.
I identified him after his third fight, and I said that guy should be a star.
I'm so proud of the show, bro.
The gap, Smitty and Jason Brown.
Coach JB Show.
What up? It is Merciless Monday, and I'm taking no mercy. We got a live, action-packed show today. Pound that like, subscribe, become a member if you're not one. Smitty and I need to get out the hood and get into a studio, and we're trying to do that ASAP. Rocky. So pound that like, subscribe, become a member of our Discord, Slap Nation. Download the Discord app, find Slap Nation, become a member. Plus, it's tied to our winnable Slap Picks. Are hitting. Cappers from every sport are with us, and you can be the next big winner. Subscribe to our First Down plan today. Play weekly, monthly, and play with the pros. Winnable.com/slap picks today. We have a loaded lineup today. Big Matt McChesney joins us, talk about the latest Colorado news, plus the latest news in regards to certain transfers and what Prime has to say. Plus, Jeff Nadu joins us, talk NBA playoffs, transfer portal, and some mock NFL draft talk. Plus, talk some mock NFL best available as far as maybe who gets traded, who doesn't, and what teams are moving up. Jockeying for position as we prep for the NFL draft this Thursday. I'll be doing some sort of show. Major League Baseball news, college football talk on the realest show on Planet ERF. Bet with it with all the betting apps right here on the Coach AB show with Winnable, Prize Picks, and betonline.ag. Like and subscribe to the greatest show on planet Earth before you get going today on this Merciless Monday. We live in a trendy, what's popular society due to social media, the availability of news, and breaking drama at your fingertips, seemingly on a minute-to-minute basis. Cell phones have done that. We have never had this type of availability at our disposal before. This brings fallacy into play as well, contrary to belief. Deion Sanders, also known as Coach Prime, has been labeled by many a great coach, which is just not the case. It's not facts, and it's clearly just trendy, popular, and convenient to discuss based on all the content that he provides us on a daily basis. Not just this show, but every show across the country. This is why we discuss him here with Matt McChesney every week. This is why Smitty and I talk about it every week. Some sort of issue or video at the University of Colorado. I have to be honest, though. This trend will die, and it will die hard when or if he doesn't succeed. We put this golden rug at his feet that he walks at, yet we don't truly break down what it is he has truly done for kids, for players, for programs, compared to what he did as a player himself. We often confuse the two, and without doubt, he was one of the top 5 NFL players ever to walk this earth, in my opinion. However, that doesn't make him a good coach, a mentor, a leader of men. We need to separate the two and be clear as to what we are creating in front of our very eyes. We are creating a massive disappointment in all the hoods and the communities out here. And the fact is, when he doesn't win a natty or when he has another bad year and loses, when he decides he wants to watch his kids play, we will once again villainize him. Once again, just as we did when he left Jackson State. Call him a sellout, an Uncle Tom, not a real one. When it comes to the black community, this isn't fair to him. But it also isn't fair to the real coaches out here who do lead men, mentor players, and have success on the field of play as a coach. This is the truth, and I'm sticking to it on the realest show on planet Earth. And can't wait to get into this one. Pound that like, subscribe, become a member. Let's get to the show. Ryan Garcia shocked the world, not me, as I picked him to win. Won me some money and got to see possibly the best troll job ever put on social media by anyone before him. He trolled everybody, and I think it's real. He made everyone believe he was crazy. Wild, 51-50, yet destroyed Haney in every aspect of the bout. We're going to dive into that in depth tomorrow with Steve Kim. Lakers start fast but finish slow as the Nuggets take game 1. Game 2 is tonight. Clippers without Kawhi beat Dallas big at home. The Bucks without Giannis smoke Smitty's Pacers. And Colorado grabs a few players in the portal over the weekend after losing several more. Plus, former players making YouTube videos of the reasoning behind leaving Prime University. But before we begin, my wonderful self-esteemed co-host, Ball State legend, Naptown's finest, 317's Far East Side great, and AR5 defending, Lamar Jackson loving, LeBron hairline having, Caitlin Clark jocking, Fox Sports' very own, our very own, Big Smitty. Welcome, my man. Quiet, you gotta be quiet, dog. You get closer to getting the studio, you gotta be quiet. Don't get evicted.
What's going on, y'all? Listen, I'm gonna try to be quiet right now because I already know with the tension that we have behind the scenes, there's gonna be a lot of back and forth today. So I'm gonna try to be quiet back and forth today. So I'm gonna try to be back. A lot of tension going on behind the scenes between me and you and I. So I'm gonna try to start the show off as calm and cool as possible. Because once we start arguing, ain't no going back. And I might get kicked out today. It's going to be worth it.
Why we got tension?
Because, man, we've been arguing for hours yesterday via text messages about Dion, about young people and old people, about us not having respect for y'all not having respect for us. We were arguing about everything you could think of yesterday. Y'all, politics, red versus blue. We was talking about gangs yesterday. We were talking about best food. Everything we talked about yesterday was an argument. So I'm prepared to die on this show.
Let's do it.
He said, fuck it, die. Cool. Let's do it live on the show. Like, we'll blow this thing up.
Someone said, bro, just leave Dion alone. Nobody making you watch it. Unfollow it if you don't want to see it normally. Fuck with your takes, but all the Dion hate and slander is crazy as fuck, coach. LOL. You know you're an oxymoron, right? You have the same exact thing you just told me. You don't have to watch this show, Brandon. God damn. Some of you motherfuckers is crazy as hell. This is my show, motherfucker. You know how to come in here, homie. Make it make sense, Smitty. These cats don't want us to talk about certain shit, but are here to watch it.
Shout out to Brendan Franklin. He said, Smitty, JB, I saw Sheldon Day at the Notre Dame spring football game last weekend. Yes, my brother was at the spring game. Did you say what's up to him, Brendan? Did you go up to him and say, hey, I'm a fan of Big Smitty's. I know that's your brother. Did you say what's up to my guy S. Day? Let me know in the comments.
American Hustle said, the black community, what the fuck? Yes, the black community, dog. So I guess you don't know. Are you a black person, American Hustle? Are you a brother? So let me make sure we're clear here when I talk about the black community. So you're telling me when Dion left Jackson State, there wasn't a black community uproar? Smitty, was there not?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but what the fuck? Because I said it? Is that why, motherfucker? Get the fuck out of here. The motherfucker left Jackson State. I know several homies who called him a sellout, who called him a mark, who said he's an Uncle Tom for leaving an HBCU for a white boy-ass community like Boulder, Colorado. The fuck you talking about, black community? Yes, the black community. Fuck you talking about, homie? The same one that I'm involved in every day. The same one that I help get kids out of every day. But I've heard Uncle Luke, who we're going to dive into in a minute. We're not even on that yet. The motherfucker said that Deion's the greatest black mentor of all time for black kids. What?
It's his opinion, JB.
It is his opinion, but you can't put it out there. So I can't put an opinion out either, right?
You can. We do it every single day. You do it, he can do it. So
I have no issue with your opinion. What I'm saying is you can't, that's not an opinion. You got to be factual with those type of things. You're saying that he's the greatest black coach for black kids ever.
Well,
and he said he's not only the greatest black coach, he's the greatest person ever for black kids. Dog, I got a lot of homies and brothers I'm going to bring on this show that's sure going to argue, because what has really... We're anointing, before we get going, we're anointing, I believe, Deion in front of our very eyes because of his celebrity status. And to be honest, it's really a slap in the face for every single coach before him that's only helped. Because listen, dog, this sport is driven by black players, Smitty.
Of course.
This is a black player driven sport. So let's think about all the cats that have actually helped young brothers for a long, long time, many, many more. Deion's just getting going in this world, in this coaching space. But we're already anointing him as a fucking great advocate as a coach. He's not yet, dog. Let's pump our brakes. This is like the Patrick Mahomes debate. Oh, he's the GOAT already after year 3. Calm down. Can we wait to see this cat's resume? I'm voting and rooting for Deion Sanders to succeed, because I actually see y'all laughing shit, but you act like I want to see his downfall and I want to see the demise of Deion Sanders.
I'm not saying you want to see it, but you think it's happening though.
No, because we've set him up for failure, Smitty. Like, you cannot not fail, homie. You cannot not fail. Let's just be real. Is Deion Sanders ever going to reach the fucking precipice of Nick Saban, Pete Carroll, any of these guys? So if he's not, Smitty, then how are you telling me we're not setting him up for failure?
But JB, the masses aren't comparing him to no damn Nick Saban or Pete Carroll.
He's comparing him.
Yeah, it's trying to tweet here and now, but the majority of people with some common sports knowledge and sense are not comparing Deion, saying, "Oh, he might be up there with Saban." He's nowhere nigh. We're just happy for an NFL legend, one of the greats to ever do it, who happens to also be a black man. Let's keep it real, like you said, start the show. We are excited to see a black man who's one of the greatest football players to ever do it go and coach at a level like this and do it his way. Point blank period. And we backing him up right now. And that's all we doing, JB. And people are mad because Deion is coaching and doing things his way. He's doing things unorthodox. He's dressing differently. He's recording everything. He's speaking differently. And a lot of people like yourself who are old school or who coached for a long time and done things one way, y'all look at this and it's cringeworthy. It's like, that's not what you do as a head coach. That's not a part of your job title. That's how you feel about it, JB. That don't mean you can skin the cat multiple ways, brother.
Keep it real here, homie, because hey, Latrell, you gonna keep it real, homie? Let's keep it funky then, dog. I'm rooting for him, but based off what I talk about every day, I don't want him to succeed. Keep it real. How about you keep it real? You played for me on the west side of Long Beach, homie, at Cabrillo. You transferred to a white boy school, homie. Fuck you talking about? Motherfucker, you couldn't handle real talk cat like me. So you bounce. Who you talking to, Latrell? What the fuck you talking about, homie? Let everybody know the truth. You couldn't handle a real cat. You bounced to a white boy school. Now you going to talk to me about talking about a brother? Get the fuck out of here. See, that's the problem with y'all can't handle the truth.
Hold on, JB.
Hold on. Nobody's in here ever bashed Deion Sanders, Smitty. Have I? Have I ever bashed him? Or have I just told you my opinion and my take on him? Hell no. So let's just keep it funky here, dog.
You
See, y'all motherfuckers
on the line, JB. You on the line.
Here and take bullshit. Nah, let the truth come out, homie. See, this is the problem with you motherfuckers. Y'all want to talk out one side out the mouth, but not listen and hear the other. Y'all hear the tone, not listen to the message. I ain't never talked about Deion in a bad character manner, even though I could. I could go on here and talk about what he did in Dallas to a bunch of black kids, but I don't. All I talk about is Deion Sanders and as a coach, what he has done, what he has been. He's a third-year coach. Let's just keep it real. A third-year real coach. So if he's a coach at year 3 and we're already anointing this motherfucker as the greatest thing since sliced bread, then how's it make sense, dog? He's the greatest coach for black kids. He has barely just started. Come on, homie. So, and Latrell, you defend me, but you ride Prime, homie. Like he's helping you out, Latrell. Latrell, let me ask you something. Who are you going to talk to and call if you need a favor first? Me or Prime?
But hold on, Jay. That's why I got to jump in real quick. And of course, like, I don't know Trail, so I don't know y'all. I'm not arguing about that.
No,
that's y'all own story.
Trail made the decision. That's fine with him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But why you keep bringing yourself up, though?
Not the other.
Why you keep bringing yourself up? This is why I argued with you yesterday. Like, when we talk about Prime, you tend to bring yourself up and throw your resume out there. What does your resume got to do with Coach Prime? No one's comparing JB to Prime. No one's saying Prime is better than you do it though. You always bring up that you help more black people than Deion, and you've done this more than Deion. Who's saying? Nobody's saying you're a bad coach, JB.
I'm not saying me. Deion. I'm saying every coach that everyone's bumping him up ahead of. I'm not saying it's just me. I'm saying every coach that we're bumping him ahead of. But everybody.
Who's we? Like who's we?
Let me ask you this question. So what do you mean we? The media, everybody, everyone you talk. Why is Deion talked about so much? You're gonna
because he's Deion Sanders, JB.
Huh?
Because number one, he's Deion Sanders, the name. Come on. And number two, because he puts, like we always say, he puts out a ton of content and he does things in an unorthodox way that we haven't really seen. That's why we talk about him. We don't talk about him because we're saying he's the greatest coach ever. JB, who's saying that? Come on, bro. Ain't nobody on major media saying Deion's the best coach we've ever seen.
First of all, don't say he's the greatest coach ever. I never said that, and I never said nobody's saying that. All I'm telling you is what they're saying about Deion and all these different narratives, how great he is already, what he's done already, what he's done for black kids already. I'm like, not really, dog. He's year 3. Like, don't sit here and let me ask you a question. I got to ask you a question first. When Mike Locksley was 5-0 last year at Maryland, we didn't hear shit about the brother. When Freeman got the Notre Dame job and is in the top 20 every year, the first 2 years of his head coaching regime, we don't hear shit. But all we do is talk about who's at the sideline of the fucking Colorado game. Who's at this? Who's at that? Dog, the dude has deserved the right to be covered because he's Deion Sanders, the player.
Ooh.
Let's just keep it real. That is why we cover him, correct?
Right. Yes.
He hasn't coached yet to cover him as a great coach.
100% right.
So that's what I'm saying, but we're not separating those two terms. We're calling him a coach as the great coach he is. He's not yet. He has a long way to go. He has to prove a lot of folks how he can become a coach. Now,
and that's fair to say, but JB, don't come on this show. What you just said is 100% right. If that's all you said, we would even argue on the show. But again, it's like you come on the show, you say stuff for 3 hours, and then you forget what you said. Again, I think I'm gonna just take the time either today or tomorrow. I'm gonna go through a whole bunch of fucking shows, and I'm gonna just pull shit and put it together because I think you forget what you say sometimes, JB. You come on the show and whether it's directly or indirectly, you have insinuated that not saying you're rooting for it, but you have insinuated that Deion is going to fail. You have basically said you believe that from what you know behind the scenes,
on what we see,
from what you know behind the scenes that we keep, you know what I'm saying, from what you see, from the first season that he's been there. You couple everything together from the players leaving and going to port. You put everything together, and you have consistently put out here that you don't see him being successful. Now, on the flip side, you go out and say, I'm rooting for Deion. It's just hard to see both because you go so hard at proving to the world that he's not that good of a coach, that you're so adamant about it that it's kind of hard for someone to believe that you're rooting for somebody who you go so hard against.
So hold on. So I could be judged by 400 million Americans and all over the world for what I did on Netflix, where they had no clue what I did. It was an edited film. At the end of the day, they filmed me for 4,000 hours. They edited it into 16 hours. It's okay for me. But once anyone else talks, critiques, has an opinion, now it's a problem. Now it's hating. That shit is crazy to me, dog. How we fucking use and pick and choose what's hating and what's an opinion. That shit is wild to me. We become so fucking pussy soft, homie. Like, we can't have an opinion because now it's hating. So what happened to all the motherfuckers that hated on me? You don't think that I'm blackballed for a reason? So,
and was that right? Was that right though?
I could be, but it don't matter, homie. They had their own opinion, and nobody castrated them for having an opinion, Smitty.
Well, because a lot
Nobody's castrated any Division I, any JUCO, any coaching regime, any players personnel group, any athletic director for hating on me. So what do you mean? It's an opinion, right? Like, whoa, is it or not? Like, I can't say shit. So I should come on this show for a motherfucker that's actually straight up brings out content for every fucking buddy show. And now I should just say, shut the fuck up. We won't talk about Deion, who's the most popular talk right now, period. We won't talk about him on this show. That's what you guys rather have.
No one's saying don't talk about the topic.
It's a hate.
We're not saying don't talk about the topic, but for example, I'm not a LeBron fan, but I don't come on here every single time we talk about LeBron and say negative shit about him. There's been hella time where I'm like, listen, man, I ain't a LeBron fan, but I got to keep it real. He balled out, this, that, and the third. When it comes to Deion, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be negative shit coming from Coach Jason Brown's lips. That's what's going to happen when it comes to Deion. And we don't even
negative.
Huh?
What? See, define negative to me, because I'm going to be curious on how I say negative shit about Deion. Negative to me is I don't like this motherfucker. He's a shitty ass fucking person. He's a horrible human.
That's personal.
You never heard me say shit like that, homie. So what's negative about it? See, that's the thing. I don't think you know the difference between negative and an opinion.
No, you're talking about personal attack. I didn't say you personally attacked him as a hit. No. I say that's what you're talking about right now. I never said you're giving him personal attacks. I never said you're talking about his character. I'm saying when it comes to him and his career field, you are always negative. You have not come on the show like, hey man, I think Deion might have a chance. I mean, listen, he got there year 1. He only won 4 games, but considering where they were at, considering it was a whole new team of people who came in, I think this cat might go into year 2 and he might do something. We'll see. But everything come out your mouth is like, I'm not seeing it.
I don't think he's going to do something. That's the problem.
But how many times you got to say that though?
Say I don't think he's going to do something year 2. Why is that negative? So I'm supposed to lie to you when I sit here and predict how a quarterback's going to be, how a team's going to be, and I'm pretty fucking spot on usually. So I'm supposed to lie and now not give you my opinion. I'm supposed to say, you know what? Deion's going to win 10 games, Smitty. And then he's shitty. And then guess what I get? Oh, JB don't know shit. What do you mean?
Don't lie. I never said lie. But again, everything you don't think Shador that good. You don't think Deion that good. You don't think the program that good. You don't think nothing about Colorado's good.
I don't.
And we talk about it every single day. So again, when I say negative, that's what I mean.
I don't think they're good.
And I'm not telling you to change your opinion, but I'm saying when it's the same, like this is what it is. Like every single day we're talking about the same. It's like the motherfucker that got the show that he just talks about you all the time.
So hold on, am I supposed to lie and be like fucking feel good ESPN and just suck everybody's dick off? Am I supposed to do that? I'm trying to figure out because
no one's saying that, JB.
Well, hold on. You just said that I said I don't think he's good. I don't think Shador's that good. I don't think Shiloh's that good. So how is that hating?
Because what you do, JB, don't matter what the topic is, don't matter what the so obviously Deion and Cairo gives us a ton of content. We talk about that all the time. Don't matter what it is, it could be something where Deion's giving a team a speech and it's a positive speech and the team is happy. You're gonna find an angle to use that speech to go at them. You're gonna find it could be him giving back to the fucking community. You're gonna find a way to use that and critique and criticize that. You are always critiquing all of every minute detail, every little thing that comes from the Colorado program and flipping it to critique it and talk about why it should have been better, how you would have did it, how you Saban would have did it, every little thing. That's why it comes off as hate, JB. Come on, man.
Everybody, Coach Pope, JB is the worst coach ever. So that's, what is that called?
It's hate. So why you don't put yourself on the level of a
troll? I never said Deion's the worst ever anything. No, I've come on here and said, so this is the thing that I'm just not ever going to turn into. I'm never going to be the guy that's fluffy and tell you just because you want to hear it. Like, I'm not going to be that guy, dog.
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you the truth about these guys. I'm going to tell you the truth about these guys. I'm not going to sit here and just tell you that. Listen, I have said that I think Deion's a great fucking player, one of the greatest of all time, my top 5. I've come on here and said I like Deion. No issue with Deion. I like some things he says. I have no issue with Deion. The issue I have in the things that I say, the issues that you have about what I say, is that I have yet to see him develop and become the coach that all of you are saying how good he is. Why is that such a big problem?
Why is there quotes every time you say coach? I'm just curious. Is he not a coach?
No, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I said it in quotes, because when I talk about the coach part of Deion, not the player, I've already said he's the top 5, not a human. I've never had an issue. I say when I talk about him coaching, now I'm the asshole. I got a problem. I'm the fucking hater. Nah, dog. I'm telling you what I think about him as a coach right now, year 3. Like, that's it. I tell it how I see it. I don't hide behind it and lie and say, Deion, you don't want me to come on here and say, like, let's be real. I would be loved in this chat today if I come on this show every day and talk about how good Deion has done and the great job he's done and how fucking unbelievable Shedeur Sanders is. That's what you would all love when it's not true. And I'm not going to be not true. Like, I'm just telling you. So that's really what you want. You guys want fluffy, nice. But I got to be honest, dog. We live in a world right now where they're taking advantage of all of us. And you want us to be nice. You want me to be nice guy. Nah, dog. I got to tell the truth, homie. You got to stand up for something, fall for anything. I'm just not going to do it. Let's dive into the quote of the day because we got a lot of Deion to talk about. Smitty is going to be all over me today about it, which is good. I like the yin and the yang. Everybody in there, you should pound the like because this is the realest show. Y'all talk it, but you don't pound. You don't do nothing about it. You don't fucking pay us. Quote of the day brought to you by betonline.ag. What up, man? The real Coach JB here for the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty. We got a proud new sponsor, of course, for the second part of the year, and that's BetOnline. Continue to be your number one source for all basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. March Madness is here. Join us every Monday and Friday with Jeff Nadu as we will pick them and up-to-minute odds, stats, and trends. You can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop to your mobile device. Head on over to BetOnline today. Become part of the team and remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for 50% off plus welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Peace. Quote of the day, brought to you by BetOnline. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. Quote of the day.
Love it.
Real talk. We got to get a studio. We haven't tried a studio yet, so we're going to try a studio. So if we don't get a studio, we're always going to be what we always fucking do. So we got to try it. Contrary to belief, brought to you by Prize Picks. Your real resume is just a catalog of all your sufferings. Your real resume is just a catalog of all your suffering or our sufferings. Poll question, Smitty, before we get right into the show. Poll question I got to ask you and everybody in the chat. Comment in the section below. Can the Lakers still win tonight versus the Nuggets?
Better.
I picked them to win that first game on my personal bets, even though on my major bets, I said they would lose game 1 and win the series. But on my personal bets, I picked them to fucking win. I had a feeling. Came out like barn burners. Motherfuckers was up 15. I was like, oh, shit, Lakers balling. This is good shit. And then they fucking choked, died out. I don't know what they did. They lost steam.
Don't have enough, JB. That's what it comes down to.
Ryan Case's GOAT, LaFlop, James just flopped. That motherfucker didn't do shit in the fourth quarter. This is the thing. This is a trend with LeBron James. Every time the shit gets big and you need the so-called all-time scoring leader GOAT to do something, why has he never shown up late in big games? He's blocked Iguodala, the greatest block maybe in the playoff history in a game, 6? Great time there. Great job there. He
hold on, time out. He also went crazy in that series. That's the down 3-1 series. So for them to come back, him and Kyrie both, of course.
Draymond, who was guarding him, got hurt. So
now he got suspended for that game for him and the Nuts. But LeBron went crazy.
He missed 2 games, remember?
He missed the game. Yeah, LeBron went crazy though. Like the rest of that series,
and he had to hit the winner though to win the series. So
yeah, I hear you. I'm just saying, I'm not saying away from LeBron.
He defers a lot for a guy that's supposedly the best guy ever. Like, you got to be the guy that carries the team, not the guy that defers to someone else. And I'm just like, I don't see it. I don't get it. But Smitty, you and I are Laker guys. I'm trying to figure out, can they win a game? They have to win tonight or it's over again.
Right.
That fast. Like, it's already over again. You can win 2 in LA and go back tied up. Yeah, but
not realistic though.
Come on, man. You've lost 9 games in a row to this team. When are you going to drop your nuts and say, fucking enough is enough? This ain't even the same Denver team as last year. I think losing Bruce Brown is going to cost them probably another championship. But no one wants to talk about it. It's cool. Caldwell Pope's playing out his mind. Porter's playing out his mind. I get it. But let's be real. This Laker team, at some point, it's not about scheme no more, Smitty. It's not about plays. It's not about any of that shit. It's about nuts and guts. When am I going to fucking just say, you know what, enough is a fucking enough? Like, I saw an open break play, Smitty, and they threw the ball away, and Hushamara had a chance to foul the dude on an open break, and he just let him go and let him do crazy little dunk. And I'm saying, this was like in the second quarter, Smitty. And that's when I look at it, and we were watching the game playing poker, and I'm sitting there like, that shit just never would have been a regular ass open free play back in the day. There would have been a foul. It would have been, and guess what? It would have just been a regular foul too. If he would push him kind of like, where he doesn't get the shot.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's a 10-minute review. You got to review it. And so I'm defending the player on this.
There you go.
This is why we've become what we've become. But also, having said that, even though the rules changed, doesn't mean that motherfucking Rodman wasn't still clothesline that motherfucker, or Ron Artest, or any of these other motherfuckers. I'm just saying, dog, we are letting shit. It's so like hard to watch NBA. And I'm gonna be honest, Smitty, I don't know what your takeaway is. I want to ask you, but first weekend of the NBA playoffs, after the play-in's over, we saw the first weekend. Last night's Oklahoma City Pelicans
best game of the weekend
was by far the best game. I didn't see a good basketball game all first round, dog. Boston blew out Miami. And here's why, though. This is why. I hope it gets better. And it might get better, but I have a take to our first argument that we've been arguing for a week. The play-in, you can't have a play-in, Smitty, and it goes straight from Miami winning a tough play-in game on Friday. And now they got to go to Boston and play the number 1 seed on Sunday in the first round after they just played 2 play-in games. They got beat 1 game. Butler gets hurt. They have to play to get in again and beat the Bulls convincingly. The Bulls didn't even show up. And then they go now to Sunday to play Boston. So they traveled Saturday, got to get off the plane, play on a Sunday. And I'm like, dog, this shit is just not, it's not really conducive for any type of good quality in any sport. I don't care what any sport says. And I'm just like, I don't believe mentally they're built that way anymore. Number one, to do all that shit, even though it's luxury, private jet, blah, blah, blah. They still don't have it, dog. And there's no way. If you're going to change the rules to our point, that I do agree, okay, if you change the rules so Hushamar doesn't clothesline the guy, he lets him score, cool. We change the rules so the player's in he's in a trick bag. But then, if you're going to make those rules as NBA, how about you change and to make the rules to where Miami didn't play Boston until, let's say, Tuesday, first round? Like, why is it such a rush now? The fucking playoffs are 3 months long, Smitty.
TV schedule. That's why you can't just push stuff down because you got certain schedules and TV rights already set in stone. It's business. That's number one. Number two, I would agree with you if only the play-in teams who were in the play-in performed bad. To your point, it was bad basketball all around. The Dallas Mavericks were getting their ass beat against the Clippers. They made it a little interesting in the second half, but they were down pretty much double digits the entirety of the game. So it wasn't just the play-in teams that played bad. So that's why I can't really argue that that's the full reason why. It might play a little bit of a role, but I mean, like, it's for some reason almost every game, like, to your point, it just was like, I don't know if people were nervous. I don't know what it was. It just was kind of weird outside of the OKC game last night, which I thought was amazing. That's going to be a really good series. The main thing that I'm thinking about the whole game was that I wish Zion was playing because I think Zion is playing. I think Pelicans steal that game last night against OKC. But that's going to be a nice, young, exciting series. And it makes me think that maybe, I mean, it's only been one game, but maybe it's time for these young cats to take over the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we saw the Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves look amazing. We saw OKC and the Pelicans both look really good. All the teams with a whole bunch of young cats was balling out. And even a lot of the teams who who had some OGs on the team on the roster or whatever, they won, but they didn't look as great to me as these young teams have. So I don't know. I just think that we might be in that phase where it's like out with the old, in with the new. So we'll see. It's only been one game, so like I'm speaking way too fast, but
the Clippers the Clippers just saved their they stayed their execution day, I guess, in my opinion. Dallas has owned them for the most part. Luka's owns the Clippers. I think they've played more than any other team in the playoffs over the last 5 years as far as the matchup. Their state of execution is what I mean by that is you just won without Kawhi.
Yep.
And get it. You haven't really won a game until you went on the road. But Dallas, this is a bad spot for Dallas, man. I'm just telling you because Kawhi comes back, and let's say he does. Now you don't have to rush Kawhi back game 2 either.
Right.
Because you go back 1-1, and then he plays game 3. You're fucking cool. You still got home court. So
yeah. Until you don't, though. Until you don't. Because I listen, you watch that whole game, the Mavs woke up in the second half. Now, he still lost the game, of course, but you started to see because Luka wasn't playing good in the first half. Kyrie wasn't playing good in the first half at all. Second half, they woke up. Now, they're going to need some help from the others, as Shaq likes to call them, the role players, to steal one. But I don't know. The Clippers, man, as soon as we get excited about them, JB, you know more than me because you've been around out here in the city way longer than me, obviously. As soon as you start to believe in the Clippers, man, they lay an egg. James Harden balled out, had a flashback game. Looked like the Houston Rockets, James Harden. Do we truly trust and believe that Harden's going to play at that level every game? Ivaka, what's his name? Zubac had a game 20 and 15. We understand the Clippers got a size advantage against the Mavs. Do we really believe Zubac's going to ball out to that level every single game? So that's the things where I'm like, some things happen in the Clippers' favor that I don't trust is going to happen consistently as the series goes on. So I still like the Mavs in this series, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. The Clippers have kind of I think they beat the Mavs 2 years in the playoffs twice. The Clippers have the Mavs number for some reason, though, in the playoffs, even though regular season, it don't mean nothing. See, Dallas came into this game just like Orlando did, in my opinion, and just like the Pacers did. They thought it was regular season. And if you watch the games that I watched all day yesterday and I watched the other games, I'm sitting there like, this is the young inexperience of a team entering the playoffs for the first, or maybe a bunch of young kids getting together. Orlando, good young talent in the team, but just they entered the game like it was regular season, like it was a play-in tournament, and Cleveland hit their ass in the mouth. Same with the Pacers. Pacers, we beat your ass 3 out of 4, Bucks. No Giannis. came in that motherfucker real lax, got hit in the mouth. Blah, 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 blah. Dame Lillard was like, fuck y'all, 35 in the first. I don't think these young teams realize that. So hopefully they understand it. That's why I miss the Pacers or some of those guys having a Nate McMillan or having an experienced coach that's going to get in your ass, because the playoffs is a different animal. And I don't think these young teams realize it, even in this softer era, in my opinion. I don't believe they realize it. And they got hit in the mouth by an older veteran team in Cleveland, even though Cleveland's still really young. They got some guys that have been there.
Yeah.
You got Orlando kind of first time being together, being in this thing. And then you got good young talent over there in Orlando. I like Orlando. And then you got the Pacers, who dominated this team, the Bucks, but really just don't show up yesterday. Down 30 out the gate. I'm like, God damn. Like, the basketball just wasn't very good this first round, first games, I guess. So we'll see if it gets better. I don't know. So, I want to dive into something real quick with you before we move on to some more sports stuff.
Let's do it.
Title IX, I don't know if you saw. I want to be clear on this after doing some investigation. This is one of the crazy parts, because I've dealt with Title IX with players of mine getting accused of certain things, of assault, of other things. But one of the most offensive due process abuses in the Title IX rule that's been around forever, the accused only needs access to a description of the evidence, not any evidence the school actually has. That's what we call going in blind. So I've had to deal with this several times when players have been falsely accused. We just saw the Matt Ariza kid, the kicker for the Buffalo Bills, who kind of still, luckily the Chiefs signed him, but he's probably walking on eggshells, because this is just like Smitty, when you Google JB, the bad shit comes up. It's not the good shit. When you Google people that have had or been falsely accused of things or have been ran through the mud, bad shit is what you Google. That is what the casuals tweet out. They don't tweet out the 300 kids I've sent to college. They tweet out one bad, dumbass thing taken out of context or false accusations. They don't Google. That's what I hate about this shit. Google keeps shit out there that's not even true. Right. I fucking had to beat 8 felonies, Smitty, and guess what? It's still on there. JB was charged with 8 felonies. Doesn't say he beat them. You have to find that. You have to find that shit.
You gotta pay. I think you gotta pay. You gotta do something with Google to get that off
it's
off
not
there.
Just Google. It's SEO. It's all
SEO.
You got to get rid of all that shit. And that's big money, Smitty. And guess what? It doesn't just go away. You have to pay constantly for people to keep it off, like a whole team. And it's big money. I've looked into it. So having said that, though, like, Title IX is when you pull up 3 of my players that I took from Minnesota, and I had to deal with that whole, the broad in Michigan State and all that shit. And I'm like, hold on, dog. You understand that the accuser and the accused are completely different. The accuser can just straight up, Smitty, say, Smitty came into my room last night at 11 and blah, blah, blah. And the next day, that kid is arrested, suspended, and could lose his scholarship, financial aid, and now it is straight up blasphemy on what your whole background entitles. What is your whole get down? For 20, 30 plus years, Smitty, JB did this, and this, great light, and then guess what? Wow, one Googleable thing. It's like, dog, Matt Ariza, if you Google him, or Trevor Bauer, the baseball pitcher who still isn't playing anywhere, which blows my mind, even though they've caught the girl red-handed lying on text and email. She is still not in jail. His ass is still out of a job. I just don't understand it. And now Biden and the president and the Department of Education, let's be clear real quick. Biden's released the statement, but it's not Biden who actually makes those laws. The Department of Education changed the Title IX literature last week that we covered on this show. And just to be clear, Title IX now has been changed in the Department of Education's literature as now made-up humans can participate with girls. My point is, Smitty, to this whole thing, back to circle one to this. you imagine we're allowing these people to be inclusive with our females and what's going to happen in the dormitories across college campuses, in bathrooms across college campuses, changing in a track meet, a volleyball match, a softball game, the shit that's gonna come from this. And it's crazy how Title IX in 1972 was put into place for females, for advocacy of females to have their own fucking voice. 1972. We're still fighting for a lot of things for females, just as brothers are in America. Let's be real. I got to be honest, though. Like, you just shitted on that, dog, from 1972. It makes zero. It has, you should, like, why did we do it? 1972 to now, you just fucking basically erased all the shit you did for women. And I just think it's the biggest slap in the face for females ever. And now Title IX will be changed again for money. It's going to be money. What I tell you guys at the show all the time, Title IX was always a setup for money, because I told y'all you got to match dollar for dollar in sports. And now what does that do, Smitty? If you really think about matching dollar for dollar, and that, instead of eliminating female sports now on the other side, so I don't got to match the dog, now we just have all-inclusive sports.
Just mix it all together to where there's no match. So now it's like one big group. Instead of men's sports, women's sports, it's just sports. And now you ain't, yes, woo. JB preaching right here.
Smitty, let's dive into it. I don't want to get too much into it because you're much more advanced than me in boxing. But we want to save a lot of this for tomorrow because Steve Kim was viral. Steve Kim was going viral for a while when his camp called him out. We'll dive into that tomorrow with Steve. But I bet on Ryan Garcia just because I listen to Jeff sometimes, and it's like, hey, the money was with Haney. Now, listen, I'm going to be honest. I'm not a boxing savant or anything. I used to watch it young. I used to watch when I thought it was really like slugfest boxing where motherfuckers was just standing in there and there was just the mano-a-mano, Hagler, Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Duran. I used to watch all those. You guys are way too young, but those were, to me, it was great fighting. Steve Kim talked about all the time.
Those are the legends of the sport.
Yeah. And then there was no Mayweather shit. Like, Mayweather is the greatest because he avoided getting hit. These guys were hitting each other and not trying to avoid it. It was mano-a-mano. My nuts are bigger than yours. Now, there was strategy, of course, and they were not trying to just boom, boom. You know, it wasn't Rocky. But at the same time,
right.
Cats was standing in there.
Yeah.
I've watched Haney twice. I don't know if you were here the other time at the house. I think you were here for the one. He won, but we were like, he got his ass whooped.
Right. Against Lomachenko, I think.
Yeah, Lomachenko. Yeah. We were like, what?
Yeah,
how did the white boy beat his ass? Well, I've never walked away from watching Haney. I've watched him 3 times now and say that motherfucker could fight. I've never walked away. I talked to Tank Johnson last night. Tank's going to be on the show tomorrow. I talked to Tank about it too, and Tank was like, I never walked away watching this motherfucker and say, damn, that boy could fight.
Did you watch his last fight, though? Against Regis Prograis? To me, that was the best Haney has looked since I've started really covering like Haney myself and watching him fight. Because I would agree to you guys, outside of the Regis Prograis fight, like he's one of those cats who's a really smart boxer. He's pretty decently athletic. He's not going to make a ton of mistakes typically until this weekend. And this weekend, I think he got out of character. I think all of the Ryan Garcia antics actually got to Haney's head. I think the fact that Ryan caught him early, like in the first minute of the fight, kind of caught him off guard, and it got him guessing and got him trying to force the issue. If you look at it round by round, like by the time it got to like the 6th round, I would say Haney was, or 5th round, I would say Haney was up probably like 4-1 in terms of just points. But that was real strategic in terms of what Ryan was doing. Ryan wasn't going out there just swinging every single round trying to knock him out. He would go hard one round, and he would kind of like chill for a round or two. Go hard and then chill. And I think what was happening with that is he was catching Haney almost off guard because like he'd catch him, but once you catch somebody, now they're like high alert. Okay, I got to watch that left hook because he's coming with that left hook. So then you kind of go away from it, and you start to get in your rhythm. You're like, okay, I'm back in my rhythm. And then boom, another left hook. and it was just catching him off guard. To me, man, Ryan Garcia, I gotta apologize to him. I know you don't apologize, but I did not see this happening. I was going at him. I said he wasn't a serious fighter on I think on Twitter like the week before. I was believing in all the antics that he was doing, and I thought he was gonna come here unprepared, and I thought there was no way in hell he would win this fight. So to win the fight in the way that he did, knocking this man down, I mean, I don't know what the official number was, but in that was it the 5th round, he kept falling down. The ref was saving Haney. He should have got knocked out. The ref was saving him.
You had it. I don't get how Haney was ever up in the fight. I'm just watching it as a casual because I'm a casual when it comes to boxing, but I do realize and smart enough to know sports in general. And I'm looking at this fight, 2 men in a ring fighting each other, one getting pummeled, being saved by the ref, and the other one really not landing any shots at all of any magnitude, especially when Garcia is really just toying with you, like doing this shit on purpose, letting him hit him.
It's weird. Yeah, that was weird.
Back and catching you. Dog, how is that not just a slap in Haney's face and his whole camp, his daddy, everybody involved? I'm trying to figure out how he was ever up in that fight. Because to me, Garcia actually played him, toyed him, and dominated the fight from front to finish. It wasn't even close. He never was in harm's way at all. He put this dude in harm's way on his ass several times and hurt him. At least 3 of those times he hurt him.
At least.
His eyes were fucked. And the ref saved him 3 times. The ref did this 3 times, and I'm thinking it's over. Motherfucker kept letting him fight.
Right.
I was like, what is this ref doing?
So, I see, JB, I got confused too. I think he was doing that saying that it wasn't a knockdown.
But everyone I talked to said that's a game, fight's over.
That's what I thought.
And everyone said he was that ref was totally fucking gone and off. I saw somewhere, I'm going to ask Steve tomorrow, but I saw somewhere they said that was a replacement ref last minute.
It must have been.
I'm curious if that's true too, because they sure were trying to save Haney, dog. And I haven't been impressed with Haney yet. One time I've watched him, not really one. I didn't watch the fight you said about maybe, but I don't know who that guy is he fought. But at the 3 I saw him fight, I'm like, this guy's not no fun. If somebody compares that motherfucker to Mayweather ever again, it's like me hearing Booker and Kobe's name. I do not want to fucking hear that shit. Who compared him to Mayweather? I want to know because I've heard that shit all over the internet. I see it all over the internet. How the fuck is someone comparing Haney to Mayweather?
People love comparing it to the all-time greats, bro. Like
that's the whole thing we and you argue about, though, dog. This is that we anoint these
listen,
guys.
and I'm not saying Haney's still a good fighter. Like I'm not in the era of you lost, you're shitty. Nah, like he's still like his resume is his resume, and I actually think it's good for boxing that some of the quote unquote the best boxers are losing now because I think Mayweather. Speaking of Mayweather, him being undefeated made all these young cats feel like they had to be undefeated, and what happened with that is. We weren't seeing the best fight the best, or if they did fight, it wasn't happening in their prime because they were so scared to get that to put a 1 on that, instead of a 0 on that record. So I am happy to see these best fight the best, and also look, shout out to Haney for having some courage and standing up. He got his ass kicked, but he kept getting up. He kept getting up. He kept getting up, and there's a respect level that I have to put for that because we didn't see motherfuckers tap. Call it quits in the corner. And I mean, JB, to get hit like that, and you saw his eyes and he was out of there, and to have the courage to get back up and take that ass whooping and to survive, there is a respect level that I put there. But nah, man, you always watch a boxing match, and again, I got this from Marcellus as well. But it's like you watch a fight, it's like, who would you rather be? And you 100% rather be Ryan Garcia for that fight. Real quick though, you said you didn't see any point in which Haney was winning. From round 2 to 5 or round 2 to 6, Haney was winning off the points just because, again, the sport of boxing in the most simple form is hit without being hit. And Ryan Garcia was deliberately taking his foot off the pedal.
Deliberately, though.
Right, but at the end of the day, that's still a loss, though. Like if I'm a judge and I'm watching the round, that's still
I knew in my eyes he was getting dominated.
You're still losing, though.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I love boxing.
I'm just looking at it like, dog, you're getting dominated, and he's toying with you.
Let me say this, though, and I know we move on. Ain't not one of y'all, not Ryan Garcia, not Haney, Ain't none of y'all on Gervonta Tank Davis's level. Stop it. I don't want to see Haney talking crazy to Tank no more. I don't want to see his daddy talking crazy to Tank no more. Ryan talking about they could do a rematch, but they got to do it at a catch weight. I understand that. You probably will fight a little better, at a heavier weight. Sure, but at the end of the day, you lost. And not only did you lose, a lot of people think Ryan Garcia quit against Tank because as soon as the count out went out, he stood up. So which means you could have been got up. You decided that you didn't want that smoke no more. So please, all y'all 135, 140 pounders, whatever, leave Gervonta Tank Davis's name out your mouth because ain't nobody in that weight class on his level right now. And I can't wait to watch him fight against Frank Martin. That will be a hell of a fight in Vegas. I might have to go.
See, if Garcia, though, in his weight class, I like him against anyone. Like, he could fight. I like him against Tank even in that class, even though I think Tank's superior boxer. Like, with that weight, in that weight class, though, that I don't know too much about, that weight class, I think Garcia has a shot as anyone. Like, that's what I think. I kind of agree with what he's saying, and I agree with the 5150 takes that he's been making. And I'm listening to all the people talk, especially De La Hoya, who I don't respect the cat as a human, but I respect him as a promoter. Yeah, I'm like, he knows what he's doing. Obviously, I think he cleared the fourth most money last year in all professional sports.
Golden Boy Promotions. He rich as hell.
Yeah, so he cleared over 600 million last year in that regard. So he knows what the fuck he's doing. When he said, I'll fight Tank at a catch weight or at our weight, we're not coming down no more. We've came down for everyone else forever, and we only have one loss. So we're going to stay at our weight. You catch us or you come up if you think you're that guy. Right now, Garcia's he's back on top, Smitty, after being crazy as fuck. See how crazy and finicky the world is. This motherfucker was Loopy. He got Epstein Island. He knows P. Diddy's back. Like, we went from him knowing all this crazy talk to I'll be honest, you don't just show up in the ring like that and dominate that dude like he did unless he was being serious at some point. Like we talk about all the time.
Hell yeah.
When you work, you work. When you play. But when you work, you don't play. And he worked and didn't play somewhere in there because he didn't come in there that sharp.
He fooled us, JB. He was working. He was working his ass off. He fooled us.
And if he did do this on purpose, and I pray to God because I don't want no more shitbird crazy fucks out here. We had enough of them. We got Antonio Brown and we got these other motherfuckers already. If he really clears his shit and comes out and just say, I was trolling, dog. I'm a normal motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because the cat's from right here, Victorville, California. Yeah. I'm rooting for the kid. But he's 25. If he's really, is he really fucked up or is he just trolling? If he really is trolling because social media allows you to do anything, we can fake anything. I mean, KD has how many burner phones or whatever? So
a clip went out. So Jake Paul called Ryan Garcia. You probably saw it after the weigh-in. If you saw the weigh-in, Ryan was 3.5 pounds, whatever, overweight, and he drank a beer on the scale. Jake Paul FaceTimes him, makes a joke about the beer, and Ryan said, "Nah, it was like apple cider and something." And he was calm and cool. So it's like he did a hell of a job promoting the fight. He made me want to watch it. I watched it, and
I wouldn't be surprised if Logan was in on it because Logan seems like a hell of a promoter in this social media space. Obviously, making a lot of money doing what he's done. So I'm sure
that's true.
They're boys too. I'm sure they got Prime, or he's not, but that drink.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be shocked if he promoted this whole thing and taught him how to troll this motherfucking thing.
Right. That's a good point.
He was playing the chess, dog, not checkers. I'll tell you.
He had more fans out there than Haney did. I will say that, JB. So, I mean, hell of a fight, man. Shout out to him. And, hey, boxing is back, man. So many good fights are underway. You got Tyson Fury fighting in May. You got Deontay Wilder fighting in June. I already told you about Tank Davis and Frank Martin. And then you got Benavidez on that same exact card, that Mexican monster. Canelo's about to fight on Cinco de Mayo against Muguia. Boxing is here, JB. You better tap in. I'm gonna make some money on boxing too on Winnable. So if you ain't follow us on Winnable, you're tripping because you would have won some money with JB if you would have been following us.
Hey, we're gonna dive into that later as well. We got our special guest here, Boulder's very own Colorado alum, NFL veteran, owner and operator of 60 Academy, 0 to 60 podcast. Our main man, Matt McChesney. Clap it up.
Broncos today. Okay. And the Nuggets. Okay. He's Denver out today.
So I bet.
How you like that game 1 ass beating?
Well, we were up
in a row now.
Well, and then we choked down the stretch because we have a guy named LaFlop over here in LA that just doesn't show up in fourth quarters. And so
D-Lo had a bad game.
Man, Matt, and I said, listen, I'm going to bet the Lakers tonight heavy because they have to win. Are you still going to say no way?
Yeah, bro. You guys are going back 2-0 or 0-2.
So you really think Denver's going to sweep them?
No. I think you'll get 1 in LA.
They have the Lakers don't win tonight. I'm just telling you right now. I might just fucking
the series is over now.
I might disown
but the series is over now. I did have a good 420. How'd you know? The series is over now. It doesn't need to go any further. We know who the better team is. The Lakers can't do anything to stop.
What the fuck is 420?
That's the weed smoking holiday, you old fuck.
He knew that. Ain't no way he didn't know that.
He knows. He's not stupid.
You were a long-time coach, bro. You got players you got to watch.
I don't smoke weed. How would I know it?
But your players fucking smoked weed. All your players smoked weed.
They didn't tell me no day.
Man, hold on, fuck that. You say coaches know everything. You come on this show, we know everything. You don't know about 420.
420. Shit.
I'm sorry, man. Keep going. I ain't even cut you
off. It's okay. Yeah, I think that the Nuggets are head and shoulders better team than the Lakers. And I mean, come on, man. It's not going to go 6 or 7. This shit is a wrap.
That's why I didn't bet you. You were trying to bait me last week, calling me soft. I'm not stupid. I love the Lakers, but it just is what it is. Denver's the clear-cut better team. Don't matter how you cut it. You guys are so fucking deep. Any given game, like you don't know who's gonna go off. You know Jokic's gonna go off, of course. That's a guarantee. You know Murray's probably gonna go off, but then you got Porter. You got so many just options on the team. Y'all so damn deep. It's like it's unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, and look, the way that they move the basketball, and then you've got Aaron Gordon just lingering around the fucking baseline, just waiting for that, the Murray to throw the ball to Jokic at the top of the key, and then Jokic to just loop the ball to Gordon, and it's over. Look, man, that on top of the defense. I mean, Coach Malone prides on them playing defense, and I'm not saying they play defense great all the time, but they play defense great when they need to. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool to see. And being a lifelong Nugget fan, I'm going to ride this fucking wave because it's not going to be waving forever. We'll put it like that. Jokic is not going to play forever. He's big and he likes horse racing and the Eastern Bloc. So we can get 4 or 5 titles out of him. Peace.
Hey, so let's dive into this NFL draft this week, Thursday, 4 days away from the draft. I want to dive into something with you guys real quick. Smitty, I'm putting you on the spot because I didn't let you know, but I got something last minute, and I wanted to talk about it. Can we show the original one, Bailey? I want to get Matt's take. Matt, I'm putting you on the spot too.
That's cool. I'm used to it.
I want to get your top 10 all-time college football players because I'm going to use this to correlate into draft. Here's what a popular opinion was, Matt. I want you to see this. This is not my pick, but I want to compare mine to this one and then get your 2 takes. So you don't have to come up with your 10 or nothing. I'm just throwing this out there.
So Barry Sanders isn't on this list.
So most electrifying, not necessarily best, most electrifying. That's a real particular word.
There's only one guy on the entire fucking list that played before 2000.
Right. I know. I'm looking at it too. I'm like, it's crazy to me. But this is not my list.
Some 15-year-old made this list. Charles Woodson is the only guy. Charles and Mike are the only 2 guys that played before 2000 on that list.
Yeah, I know. And Michael Vick played in 2000 bowl game.
Yeah, so there you go. So look, Barry Sanders is on this list. I mean, that you want to talk about electrifying?
Matt, I got offended by this list, and I had to make a list for us. And I know I'm not
saying all those guys can't play, but
here's my list, Matt. I got Reggie Bush, Michael Vick, Percy Harvin. People don't talk about Percy Harvin. I don't understand why. Peter Warwick. If you didn't watch Peter Warwick in college, Bo Jackson. Has anyone ever heard of electrifying?
How about
How
Herschel
about
Walker?
Charlie Ward? Anyone here watch Charlie Ward?
Charlie Ward.
If you don't know who Jamel Holloway is, you need to go study and look it up.
Oh, please do.
Barry Sanders and Marshall Faulk and Tavon Austin are the epitome of electrifying.
How about Tebow? Tebow needs to be on that list, bro. Let's be real.
I was thinking about that too, but electrifying, right? Like, do you that word it's a little.
I mean, come on, bro. Watching Tim Tebow when he was at Florida,
you're right.
Holy fuck, this kid is ridiculous.
I was thinking about that. And JB, listen, you will never catch me off guard, JB. I'm always prepared.
I like that.
I'm always prepared.
What is with this laugh that you two do now? Is this like a coordinated, synced up thing?
What laugh?
It sounded like that. Like that.
That's our laugh. Like, that's our show laugh.
That's not how
you got to learn how to do that shit. Actually, now.
I ain't doing that bullshit.
Oh, do it again. You're pretty good. One more time.
No, I'm good.
Please.
No, I'm not fake laughing with you two fucks.
Reggie Bush, Vish Young. Listen, I'm younger than y'all. Those two cats were a large part of my childhood, my early, preteen, as they call it, teenage years of really watching college football. So I got to put them to start off. Michael Vick, of course, legend. Cam Newton, what he did at Auburn to me was electrifying. Johnny Football, we know how that was. Tyrann Mathieu, the fucking honey badger, was a movement. Devin Hester, man, come on now. We know what he does. Adrian Peterson, I think they need a little bit more love for what he did in college.
Bro,
phenomenal.
look,
Peter Ward, legend, and Percy Harvin.
I played against Adrian Peterson in the 04 title game and Big 12 title game. And it's like the middle of the first quarter. And I'm playing 3 technique, and they run a double team at me with Davin Joseph and Jamal Brown, both 2 first rounders. And I shed the double team and I stick my arm out. All I can do is get my arm out, and fucking Adrian hits me right above the elbow, like on the inside of my bicep, and dislocates my fucking elbow with his quad.
Lying.
And I swear to God, my hand, it like pops out and rests on the top of my arm, and I run off the field, and I'm like, Steve, to our trainer, I'm like, fuck, my arm. He goes, what's the score? And I look up at the scoreboard, and I'm like, 0-0, and he grabs my arm and throws it back in the socket.
Ooh.
And he's like, what do you want to do? He's like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, take this motherfucker up and shoot it up. I got to go back out there. And it was stupid because I couldn't play. But Adrian Peterson that night, I don't know what his numbers were, but I'm going to guess they were around 29 carries for 240 and 4 tutties.
Man.
Bro,
hey, listen, there's a lot of guys that aren't going to be on the list. There's going to be a lot of guys that I could think of right now. DeAnthony Thomas, the Black Mamba right here, Crenshaw High School, right here in our backyard. I seen him play in high school. Yes, he was unbelievable. So was Tommy Frazier. Yes. So was Eric Crouch, by the way. There's a lot of guys. How about
it's only 10 spots. So I mean,
exactly. How about Johnny Manziel? There's a lot of guys we could have in there that were great. How about Rocket Ishmael? Like, a lot of you guys don't realize there's a lot of guys. Tim Brown was unbelievable. But I'm just saying, there's 10 guys, and somebody's gonna be left out. Like Matt said, Tebow. That's a great one. I mean,
yeah.
I just didn't put him down as electrifying. I put him down as like a nutty gutty fucking performer, like nuts.
You have to look at it too. Like, everybody take away what happened after college. Like,
right.
Yeah, I'm just talking college.
If we can put, if I know that, but everybody, like the comments and everybody else, they're going all over the.
They're combining the two. Yeah.
It's like everybody's just mounted it together, and that's cool. Thank you. That's cool. I'm saying, like, if you're just looking at just college, like, Reggie Bush should be on the list. If you're looking past college, Reggie Bush should not be on the list.
Right, exactly.
Let's just be real. So, but like, if we're going to go that road, then Tebow should probably be on the top 10. But again, he's not like, oh my God, he has one step on a guy and then he's got 10 steps on a guy. I think that's what the list is kind of like. Are you explosive? Are you entertaining? It seems like the list is a bunch of really, really fast motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But there's, like, if you want to talk about just exhilarating players, like, Aaron Donald was pretty exhilarating in college. He was pretty
and Ndamukong Suh. Let's keep it funky.
A pretty electrifying player. I watched Ndamukong Suh in the Big 12 title game against Texas have like 7 sacks or some shit, and like just ragdolling fucking Colt McCoy all over the field. Nobody could block him. That was pretty outstanding. Yeah. So this looks like a skill player made the list. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Here, the problem is with some of the guys Smitty had on there, and I appreciate him putting them on there because a couple were JUCO players. We're talking college, and back in the day, at least in college, Napoleon Kaufman was a guy we played against in high school. I played against in high school. Was probably him and Saladin McCullough was the two best high school players I've ever seen in my life.
Bro, McCullough, in 2002 in Folsom, we played SC, and McCullough, it was like everyone else was in slow motion, and this dude was just running by everyone. It was fucking nuts. He's one of the fastest human beings I've ever seen in my life.
The best 4 players I've ever seen in person or played against are Napoleon Kaufman, George Jones. I coached against Bakersfield JUCO before he went to San Diego State and replaced Marshall Faulk later. Broke all of Marshall Faulk's records. George Jones, Napoleon Kaufman, Lawrence Phillips, who I had to play against, and Saladin McCullough. Those are the 4 best I've ever seen. And Saladin went to JUCO, El Camino JUCO, both from Pasadena. His little brother Sutan ended up going to SC, was not even close to player. He was fast as shit, but he wasn't a player like Saladin. Those are the 4 best high school players I've ever seen in my life. But having said that, JUCO, Smitty, I just don't know how much those guys back in the day played 3-4 years, and the JUCO kids only got a year or 2. And I'm like, I can't put him as an all-time college great.
I feel you. No, that's a good point. I just feel like Cam Newton, like that's probably one of the names you're thinking about. Like his I just remember that time at Auburn, and that team was good, but it wasn't like that was some cheat code team. So like Cam was leading that team to the promised land. And I just think, for example, another name that came to my mind was Joe Burrow. But again, like Joe Burrow's entire career wasn't phenomenal, but that year that he won was one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen from a quarterback or a player. So like you said, there's so many names that could be on the list.
There's guys that this chat won't remember, but like Mike Rozier, who went to Coffeyville Junior College, went to Nebraska, and we know who he ended up being. But like there's a guys, I don't know if I've ever seen another Mike Rozier. And Marcus Dupree, it was unbelievable too. So there's a shitload. We can keep going on and on and on. By the way, Brian brought up Randy Moss. Randy Moss, though, had issues at Florida State. He had to go to Marshall. And then at Marshall, there was a little gap there where I don't know if he dominated college football like he could have if he was at one place. And if he did it at Florida State, it would have been a lot better and bigger than Marshall. So that's the difference, in my opinion, as far as top 10. Matt, let's dive into NFL Draft Thursday. It's happening. I'm trying to see if I can get into do a show live, but do you see any movement that can occur? Bailey, I don't know if you can pull up our the top 20 picks, but I'm hearing a lot of rumors out there that the Chargers could be actually moving in a big direction and moving up to Minnesota to try to make a big splash. I don't know if that means Herbert or not. I've heard some very interesting things. That would only mean that Harbaugh truly loves J.J. McCarthy and wants to start fresh, and give up Herbert would be a shocker to me. That would be a huge deal.
No way.
I know.
Harbaugh will get fired immediately, I think.
Yeah, you took the job to fucking coach Justin Herbert.
I'm just saying. The motherfucker just got a tattoo on him. That's weird shit.
Now, that's not weird shit. That's some swaggy shit right there, bro. If I'm 15-0 on Michigan's national title team, I'll put you like this. My boys sent me pictures of their rings yesterday, and it's all 4 fingers in 1 year.
Ooh,
my boy Reese and Drake and Connor, all my guys that got those rings, all 4 of them sent me just the whole hand, just fucking gloved up, ring in 1 year. And my boy Connor's been there for 3. Reese has been there for 5 years, and Connor's been there for 3. They got more. They're gonna have to put rings on their cocks. They're like these Big Ten championship ring cock rings.
At least get the big blue tattoo. Like, you never got a black M. As little as
it is. It's like he wears khakis, and he was like, I want a khaki pants fucking tattoo. And they were like, M 15-0, done. It took 2 minutes, and he's out. And now Jim Harbaugh's tatted up, and he's got street cred.
Shout out to Harbaugh.
I thought it was pretty cool, honestly. But no, look, if this guy goes in and gets rid of Justin Herbert, I've only seen that one other time. Now, it's happened more than one other time, but when I was playing for the Broncos here, we hired McDaniels, and he came in, and within, I want to say 2 months, like I was sitting in my locker, and Brandon Marshall was right next to me. Like Cutler was 3 down, and 2 months later, fucking Brandon Lloyd was sitting next to me, and Kyle Orton was 2 down. And I was like, what the fuck just happened, dude? We just traded Brandon Marshall and Jake Cutler. What are we doing? And then, we started 6-0, and everybody's like, oh my God, this is incredible. And we fucking nosedived like you've never seen before. So, bro, you need a quarterback in this league. I'm not saying J.J. McCarthy won't be outstanding, but I know Herbert can play. He's just with the Chargers. So if Harbaugh is the one guy other than who led the Chargers to the Super Bowl, Bobby Ross, right? He was the Super Bowl.
Ross or Schottenheimer?
It was not Schottenheimer. Schottenheimer never made a Super Bowl. It was Bobby Ross. So Bobby Ross took yeah, that's right. That's called history in the old dude's head.
Smart.
Bobby, unless I'm wrong, but Bobby Ross.
Well, Schottenheimer took Cleveland. No, he didn't.
Schottenheimer, the Browns have never made the Super Bowl first.
Yeah,
and
right.
Schottenheimer's never made a Super Bowl. So Bobby Ross made the only Charger Super Bowl when they beat the fucking Steelers back in the day in the AFC title game. So can Harbaugh be the only guy in history to overcome the average mentality and makeup of the entire
Was that Neil O'Donnell year?
That was Stan Humphries.
Stan Humphries.
Eric Bieniemy was on that team, and
yeah,
Junior Seau and Leslie O'Neal. They had some dudes, but I mean, they shouldn't have been in the Super Bowl. The Steelers fucked up that AFC title game pretty proper.
Yeah. All right. With these picks here, do you see any craziness? Like, okay, so we know a lot of GMs coming out lately. I've been watching all these little things. Jaden Daniels is the best QB on the board. Well, that's not going to change, in my opinion. The Bears, I think they're taking Caleb, right? That's going to be a non.
Yes.
We're seeing that thing. Washington and New England are 2 critical ones because Arizona is most likely not taking a QB, Matt. They're going to probably go wide out, Marvin Harrison,
Neighbors,
Joe Alt, or somebody.
Yeah,
they're not
I'll
taking.
tell you what they could do.
Where does Washington and New England go with 2 and 3, and what cues do you predict are going 2 and 3? Do you see Jaden at Washington? Do you see Drake May in New England, or do you see JJ McCarthy moving up? Do you see Washington, New England first? Talk about those QBs.
So look, if I'm going Caleb Williams first, Daniel second, even though he doesn't want to go to Washington, and why would you want to go there? But still, they got a new ownership group, so we'll see what happens. And then I'm going to go Drake May third. And then look, if I'm the Cardinals, this is your opportunity to get rid of Kyler Murray and his contract.
How do you do it?
How you do it?
You find a suitor. The Giants don't want Kyler Murray. The Titans don't want Kyler Murray.
Hell yeah, they do.
Like if the Bears have the 1st and the 9th pick, is Kyler Murray a better prospect than Caleb Williams?
Yeah, they won't do that.
They're not doing that.
I'm just saying. I'm spitballing here. Like if I'm the Arizona Cardinals, we haven't done dick with Kyler Murray. Coach, how do you feel about him?
Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
Fucker, you know how I feel about him.
I know exactly how you feel. So I'm just saying, like, do you want to keep building around this cat, or is this?
I get rid of him in a New York heartbeat, no question. But
if you're Marvin Harrison Jr. going there, just because he's got a big contract doesn't mean it's a solid ground situation. So much of where quarterbacks go is determined, or how successful they are is determined by where they go. Same thing with Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, are you going to go somewhere where he actually throws you the ball? Or is this just going to be Scramble City and fucking?
I mean, there is a shit ton of wideouts in this draft that could be game changers, in my opinion. It reminds me of Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, that crew. There's a lot of
Arizona, and they're going to keep Kyler Murray, which they're probably going to.
Yeah,
I would draft the best offensive lineman possible and put him on the other side of the kid they drafted last year, Paris Johnson. And then you've got 2 tackles. You can build inside, and then Kyler Murray doesn't have to run for his fucking life every single play, more than usual. And then that puts the Chargers in a very,
peculiar
situation, right? Because then Marvin Harrison Jr. is sitting at 5, and an offensive lineman went at 4 instead of Harrison Jr. And then all of a sudden, you've got Marvin Harrison Jr. with fucking
Justin Herbert,
and that could be fucking awesome, but at the same time, they drafted a first-round receiver last year, and they drafted a first-round receiver 2 years ago, and they're always drafting first-round receivers, and they never blew the play out. But they did get rid of Keenan Allen, so they got to refill those coffers somehow.
If Herbert keeps 5 and they come down to the Arizona taking a wide out, comes to the Chargers, which I've said on your show, I think the Chargers have the first pick overall if you keep Herbert.
It's crazy. It's crazy how that run that out one more time for everybody that didn't hear it the other day, because that's actually the truth. Yeah, you got, in my opinion, some decent quarterbacks, but I don't know if they're lifelong franchise guys. So you got Caleb Williams going to 1. Okay, so the reason I say this is because Herbert is already a franchise quarterback with a guy like Harbaugh, who has been known. He took fucking Kaepernick to a Super Bowl. I think he knows what he's doing with quarterbacks. Harbaugh is going to take a guy like Herbert, so he doesn't need a quarterback at 1. He doesn't need a quarterback at 2. He doesn't need a quarterback at 3. Basically comes to Arizona having a pick I would take Herbert over fucking middle midget all day. So when it comes to number 5, Herbert and Harbaugh sitting there like, okay, well, really we have number 1. Do I go get Joe Alt? Do I go get the Uso from Oregon State? Or do I go get Brock Bowers? Because Brock Bowers fits the Michigan way. If we've watched Harbaugh over the years, not only at Michigan, but at San Francisco as well, he did the same thing, methodical, run the football, run some zone read. I'm sure you're going to see a lot more zone read from Herbert, who can actually run, especially having Roman there. They're living in a goddamn motorhome in Huntington Beach, and they're drawing up shit in the sand out there, literally and figuratively. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go get a Brock Bowers or a tackle. I'm jealous, and I really am mad at myself for not living in a bus or an RV the whole time I was in the league. Why did I go get a fucking apartment or a house for what? That shit is so fucking cool. I wish I just would have pulled up, bought a Garner Minshew short bus, ripped the fucking seats out, put a bed in the back, and I got my phone and we're rolling. I don't need anything else. What the fuck, man?
So let me ask you, if you're the 1 pick. You got Herbert. You got you lost 2 big-time wideouts, though, for Herbert. You lost Allen and Mike Williams. Do you go get a tight end and a running back that you're going to get? You've already made some moves, but you're going to run the football with a game clock managing, first down, move the sticks, tight end, and a generational talent in Brock Bowers with Herbert? Or do you get tackle and Alt or one of these other guys for Herbert? Or do you have to get wide out first, just like Joe Burrow had to do with Jamar Chase? Instead of going and get the tackle, they got Jamar Chase, which helped them go to the Super Bowl, obviously. So what do you do if you're Harbaugh at 5, which really is number 1 for him?
Trade back and do both. Instead of making the choice at 5, trade 5 for 2 picks in the first round and get a tackle and a fucking tight end. Because Bowers isn't going 5th. Like, he's going 10th to the Jets. So trade with the Titans or somebody before the Jets and pick him, and then get another first-round pick later in the first round and get a first-round offensive lineman, and you got a tight end and a tackle, and you're rolling. That's what I would do personally. I think obtaining more picks in the draft is more important than fucking selling out to get one guy.
Yeah,
unless that one guy is like the guy.
The quarterback or something.
Right, outside weapon problem though with losing your 2 great receivers.
Yeah, well, don't cut Keenan Allen, you cheap motherfuckers.
Well, they did. So now what do they do there?
But also, like you mentioned, Joey, this is a deep wide receiver draft though. So I don't think it's out of the question that they couldn't get a pretty good receiver in round 2. Like, it's not like round 1 is over.
They can get a great player. They can get great players in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th rounds.
Yeah.
Look, this. I always had a problem with this, but now that social media and the internet and everything are involved with the draft as prevalently as they are, and they have been for years, there's a little bit more light shined on the rest of the draft. But the draft is bigger than the first round, bro. There's so many fucking great players that go 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and undrafted. I mean, good God. So that's why you want scouts, but it's also why you're looking for the GM that's more concerned with the entire makeup of the team rather than just the entire makeup of the first rounders. There's a lot of fanboy general managers out there, guys. Let's be real.
Well,
there's a lot of guys.
Seems to be one right now.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. There's a lot of fanboy general managers out there who are only concerned about the top guy they bring in and everybody else is bullshit. And that is the fastest way to get fucking fired. You have to treat the undrafted guy with the same kind of diligence you evaluate the first round guy. That's how you find diamonds in the rough and guys who can play from all over the place. I don't know how many great players I played with that were undrafted or 1AA or Division II guys just came out of fucking nowhere, and you're like, where'd this guy come from? We had Mike DeVito on my show a couple weeks ago on 0 to 60, and Mike is now the player personnel director for Maine where he played. But he was a big undrafted defensive lineman from Maine, and the Jets brought him in, and he played for like 12 fucking years, bro. So, like, I'm telling, there's so many good players everywhere. You have to evaluate from top to bottom, left to right. You can't just be like, oh, we've got this really good player in the first round. The rest of the draft just kind of is what it is. Let's take the best player available. I always hate that. The best player available. All right, cool. Let's just, if the best player available is a fucking offensive lineman every time, you're just going to take 12 offensive linemen. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Right.
How about the best player available for our fit? Like, we have to find the fit for each team that they're looking for that fits their culture, that fits the community, that fits the scheme. And you're not always going to do that, bro. So, Max Crosby, what was a 5th rounder? Something like that, right?
Something like that.
Third,
Yeah.
4th, or 5th, something like that. He went late.
I think he went undrafted.
They took Colin Farrell with the 3rd pick that year, if you remember correctly. So they took Colin Farrell or Clinton Farrell, whatever his name was, from Clemson, the 3rd pick, and then they went and got Max in what, the 5th?
4th.
Then the 4th.
Yeah.
So they go get Max in the 4th. Farrell's gone. He didn't make it to a second contract. He's on a 1-year deal with San Francisco. Max Crosby signed a $100 million contract. So sometimes the guys you draft late or you spite or you overlook turn out to be the guys that overcome.
Yeah, listen, Shaun King brings up a lot of stuff on this about the wideouts. He loves a lot of them deep. I just don't know after wideout 5 or number 6. You got Udinzi or whatever. You got Neighbors. You got the other LSU receiver who Shaun King thinks is the best of all of them. You got obviously Marvin Harrison. After 5 or 6, though, as good as those 5 are, like, there's a fall off. There's a drop off. I'm trying to see is the Chargers willing to take that late drop off because they need Herbert a guy. You can't just get Herbert just a regular guy.
Well, hold on. Herbert's job is to make a regular guy a star.
He hasn't yet.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that, bro. Herbert's throwing the
Keenan
ball.
Allen wasn't a regular guy.
Well, I agree, but Austin Eckler was. Austin Eckler was a regular guy, undrafted out of Western fucking State, Division II in Colorado.
Yeah, but he's not a wideout. I'm talking about wideouts.
He caught fucking 80 balls one year.
Yeah, backfield. I'm just saying.
But what I'm saying is Herbert's job is to take the 3rd. What round did Tank Dell go in?
Who?
Tank Dell, your boy. What round did he go in?
Shit, I think he went 3rd.
3rd round. So you find a Tank Dell in the 3rd round. You find a
3rd round. Yep, you got it right, JB.
Tank Dell in the 3rd round, a guy like that in the 3rd round. It's Justin Herbert's fucking job, just like it was CJ Stroud's fucking job, to make Tank Dell worth more than the 3rd round pick that he was. Because right now, Tank Dell is way more valuable than the 3rd round pick. You wouldn't give him up for anything because he's overvalued or not overvalued. He
overperformed.
He outworked his value because CJ Stroud got him the rock. The same with Nico Collins. Nico Collins wasn't no 1st round draft pick. I don't know where he went, but it ain't 1st round. So it's, I watched John Elway do this for a long time. He, the years that he was winning Super Bowls, he was taking undrafted Rod Smith and cast off Ed McCaffrey and 7th round Shannon Sharp and turning them in 6th round Terrell Davis and a bunch of no names up front. And his greatness oozes out to everybody, and they're all great together. So I know it's a different era, but Mahomes does this shit. Mahomes just took a bunch of fucking guys and Travis Swift and went to the Super Bowl again. So it's the quarterback's job is to elevate everybody, man. It's not just to be like, oh, I got all these superstars. Let me get the ball to them. Let's take some average dudes that nobody thought could play and let's elevate them to fucking superstardom. And then we'll just keep doing that shit because our quarterback's great. Now that's me, but I could be wrong.
Look, before we get out of here, we take a break. We got this video I want you to take because you already commented on this kid leaving. Then he does a video, of course, about his departure from Colorado, Kermani.
The narrative of everyone's thinking on my name, be a part of a real and a great program that's going to impact me at my best ability. And yeah, ready to get to a new place and get to work. Yeah, I feel like I just don't want to play for clicks. I actually want to be involved with a great leading program that's going to develop players. With that being said, that'll wrap up all the questions asked from you guys.
Okay, so look, I've had disgruntled players. We all have that have left for whatever reason. Unless you're in the program, we don't really know. So here's the issue. We had words for him, that kid there last week on the show. Listen, I shared a text with some of you guys. Let me ask you guys something. Is there, like, let me ask you something though. This kid, and then listen, there's a guy that covers Colorado, Matt. I don't know his name, but I blocked him. I didn't know who he was. I had him blocked on my Twitter, and Smitty sent me a thing that he had said.
Yeah.
And so I looked at it. I'm like, well, I blocked him for some reason too. So I don't know if I trust this guy. But he's like he covers Colorado in the media of some sort. And he came out and tweeted, Cormani also does some crazy shit at the Houston nightclubs that I don't even want to talk about, but we're not going to go there. Well, that's like some shit like, well, you cover him, homie. Talk about it if you're such a great knower of all things. I just think there's a lot of tattletelling going on. So, where are you at with his latest video that he made? And he took certain shots, obviously, at Dion by saying, oh, I want a real program and all this. I've had disgruntled guys too. I'm not taking that with full grain of salt, but I also know sometimes there's smoke, there's fire. So where are you at with this as far as your gray area take that you have on this, because you have to cover both, because you have players you coach and you have coaches you cover. So where do you get from this whole thing?
He's not wrong. There's lots of clicks. I mean, that's what they do. But he knew that when he went there. That's exactly what was going on when he went there too. So he was attracted to it until he got there and figured out he had to work. It wasn't just going to be clicks. So he doesn't want clicks, right? But because the clicks aren't about him, that's why he's angry. Because if the clicks were about him, if the clicks weren't just about Travis Hunter and Shador and Shiloh, and they were all four of those kids, because he was supposed to be part of that little core of guys, one of Dion's guys. Well, he chose not to be one of Dion's guys. Dion didn't ostracize him and like kick him into the wasteland and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he asked him to do certain things that he needed to do, and Cormani wouldn't do them, regardless of what the young man says. Those are what it is. And he decided to leave, and the transfer portal allows it. If he wouldn't have left, he would have had to stick around and actually figure it out, and we never would have known this was happening. So, look, man, the young man can be as disgruntled as he wants. The transfer portal is there for him to move on, and best of luck to him. Best of luck to Coach Prime and everybody up in Boulder as they move forward and they don't have him anymore. Obviously, you want to keep a five-star corner around, but to be honest with you, we've talked about this a lot. Sometimes the three-star kid is a little better player just because he doesn't have all the physical gifts. He has to work for it every day. So, you know, if McLean really wants to go somewhere and play for a real program that doesn't do clicks, well, I don't know any program that's not on social media.
Here's my issue with this whole thing. For the kids' sake, like, see,
everybody's on social media, dog. You're getting clicked wherever you go. The clicks need to be about you, though. You're angry because the clicks aren't about you. You're not angry because there's clicks. Let's be real.
Yeah, if I took a job today, I'm going to be honest, I'm probably having everything videoed, and it'll be a mini Netflix series. Like that's
look, if you don't use the medium provided, if you're in high school and your dumbass can't figure out how to hit send and tag coaches, or you're a parent, you can't figure out social media because that's your excuse not to use technology. Or you're in college and you're one of these old school coaches. We don't need to do social media. It's for the birds. Get off my lawn. You're just falling behind. You're just dumb. So, you know, again, in the information age, ignorance is a choice, and there sure are a lot of dumb motherfuckers.
Yeah, I look at it as a coach's perspective and as a former player, but as a coach. So I talked to Smitty, and I had this whole debate yesterday about this whole topic. And I'm sitting there like, we're quick to judge the kid on one end that we didn't coach, because I've had these kids that I've I've gotten from, let's say, Kermani's situation. 5-star, basically he's had his ass kissed his entire life. Let's keep it real. He was one of the number one recruits in America. And then I get him to my situation, and he's going to have a bump in the road. He's going to have hiccups and bumps in the road, and it's going to be a lot. So as the coach side of me, I'm like, well, fuck, what really does the kid have going on? Does he have special ed needs? Is he slow? Is he this? We all have those, by the way. All the players I ever coached are special ed. Those are my best players, actually.
All of them.
Time out. What did you just say?
Yeah, every player he ever got was special ed.
Special ed?
Fuck yeah.
Or did they have learning disabilities, or are they special ed? I don't know. I don't really want to go down this road with you because I feel like you're laughing now. And
I'm not laughing.
I don't know if we should joke about this one.
I'm not joking at all.
Are you telling me the buses you guys took to the fucking
to
plane?
me, it's special ed. Like,
I'm just saying, the buses you took to games, were they short or regular size?
well, that's the other word.
JB, you do know your players are on the show live. Like, you got quarterback, you got like people in here questioning your players now who watch the show. So you might want to keep that to yourself. You got people in here questioning Latrell, and
that played for me.
They're like right now watching this. Like, Matt, imagine watching a show where your head coach, your former head coach, is saying, "Yeah, all my players were slow, especially the quarterbacks and the fucking running back. They were really slow
and special ed."
Dog, hold on, time out. My players know what I told their asses. Here's the thing. I was special. I was ADHD.
Alan, call in, Alan.
I'm ADHD. Alan was ADHD. Latrell's ass is ADHD.
Yeah, they're not in the special ed class, though.
No, you know what I mean. So
I keep going.
Okay, so learning disabilities. Okay, I had them. We all had them.
That's crazy.
If learning disabilities are there, that kid needs to, like, in my opinion, he only knows what he knows, don't know what he don't know. So it takes a lot more to get through to that kid, Matt. You know that too, because you coach a shitload of them. It takes a lot more to get through that motherfucker. So I'm trying to play devil's advocate and defend the player here and the coach, because I know shitbirds also leave and disgruntled and talk shit. I get all that too. So, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, is he losing more than he's gaining, though, in a fairly young environment for Deion Sanders? Deion Sanders, in all regards, is pretty much a young coach. He's a player, he's a figurehead, he's a celebrity, but as a coach, he's really young. So, Allen was one of my favorite ever quarterbacks. So,
what's the question?
Is he gaining more than he's losing? And do we have to look at this at a different light? You have to put your coaching goggles on, Matt, and then you got to put your player goggles on, and then you got to put that you're an alum on, and then you got to put that I'm a fucking, you know what I mean? Like, you're in a very curious situation.
I'm gonna go football history here. Just my history at CU from 2000 on. Okay, not talking about what happened before then. In the 2000 recruiting class that I was in, we had an unbelievable class. I think we were ranked like 4th in the country. We had the #1 running back in the country named Marcus Houston on our team. He was unbelievably talented. But we also recruited Bobby Purify out of Colorado Springs, who turned out to be a way better player. We had Chris Brown coming in from Northwestern, who turned 6-touchdown Chris Brown, who was an unbelievable Big 12 offensive player of the year. We had Brian Calhoun, who was transferred to Wisconsin after his junior year and, like, you know, didn't play a ton at CU, had a really good year and then left, was a pro. Cortland Johnson, who was an unbelievable fucking player out of Denver here, that was a senior at that time. And Eric Bieniemy is our coach, so he was really hard on everybody. Well, Marcus transferred in 2 years and couldn't play and needed his ankle spatted, and everything needed to be about Marquisha, and it was really contentious. And he transferred to our rival and started talking shit. So there's one #1 player of all time. All right, Daryl Scott in 2007 or something from Coach Hawkins, like 1st or 2nd big-time class. Huge fucking #1 running back in the country, massive fucking player, 5-star everything. Didn't fucking amount to shit at CU. I don't even know if he really even played. All right, he was gone as fast as he came in the fucking fast as he came in the room. All right, you look now, just fast forward this now to Coach Prime. Okay, McLean's a 5-star. He's gone already. Like
you just lost a 4-star 10 minutes ago, Hopkins.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about the 5s right now. When those guys are the elite recruits, right? The ones where you don't usually get them. There's only so many of them. Yeah. People get 4 stars all the time. I'm not minimalizing it, but I am saying that we're just talking about the biggers, the big timers. So I personally think that if you're looking at it like that, man, sometimes you got to look at the 5 stars and go, really? Do we really want to take a chance? Do we really why don't we go recruit the 3 or the 4-star kid that actually wants to play and is spited and is motivated by him not being a 5-star?
So are you questioning his recruiting tactic or or is there not enough time to investigate and do real data?
I'm questioning how they rank.
Because we used to do much. Matt, let's be honest, all the naysayers and the fans out here that don't understand the process. Back in the day, we would recruit Smitty for 4 years. From a sophomore year when he became on my radar, I'm recruiting Smitty for 3 years solid, and I'm going to try to get a commitment from Smitty. I know everything about Smitty. I know his background, his mama, his auntie, who's making the call, what he likes to eat. I know everything. I bring him little things every time I visit his school. Here's a Snickers. You like a Snickers, Smitty? Here you go. So I built this relationship. Nowadays, I don't know if anybody is getting that relationship built anymore because they're mercenaries, and we're taking the portal kids over the recruiting the high school and building a relationship with the kid. So I don't know if it's the same. Matt, I don't know if it's the same, meaning that are we really, is it a hit and miss thing? Because we're never going to understand this kid's character.
100% hit and miss. And look, I don't know how you determine this. I don't know how you gauge it. I don't know how you're supposed to make a determination off of a kid by looking at him and meeting with him and not being able to coach him. I don't know how you're supposed to make a determination 100% off of a kid when he's playing against high school kids and he's just head and shoulders better than they are and he doesn't really need to play that hard or do things right. But then when he gets around grown, this is the whole grown man aspect of college football, right? Like we talked about Jordan Seaton, he's going to come in and has to show us it's a grown man's game, and he has. We haven't. That's how you know an O-lineman's doing well. We don't talk about him. No one said anything about Jordan Seaton because he's locked down the left tackle position, and there's a 5-star that actually operates like he's a 1-star, right? So if you can get a 5-star that'll operate like he's a nobody, you're probably going to get a pretty good football player out of it. If you get a young guy that's a 5-star or 4-star, no offense to everybody in the chat, and they operate as if they're already in the NFL from an ego standpoint, you're fucked, bro. There's nothing you can do about it. Like the kid is always going to have somebody in his ear telling him that the coach is wrong. And now you have an easy out because you can just go to the transfer portal. So
hey, Alan brings up a good point right here. I'm gonna have to hook you two up, Matt, anyway, so I can explain what Alan does now. But he's got a point here because the stars are being rated by guys who never fucking played.
Yep.
So like if you never played and you got no offense, but like this is why we talk about this all the time. But like Mina Kimes breaking down QB footwork to me is a laughing stock. Like I'm joking, I'm laughing at that, and I don't have no disrespect towards the broad. But, like, let's be honest.
Towards the broad?
I don't have no disrespect towards the broad. She's catching strays right out of all the names. He could have said that's why Levi. He could have just made a name up. He put a name and a number on it and said no disrespect. I love JD.
Dog. Like I'm telling you, Bailey, we got to go through and do like an all-time cut up clip of like everything this guy said.
Man, I love how JB saying no disrespect, but they
I don't get it. But anyway,
continue. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So like, if this broad breaks down feet work, and I'm just sits there like, oh, really? The 3-step drop's not a fucking. You're taking a hit. If she's gonna break down feet work for me in the pocket, I'm looking at her and laughing. Right? The same thing for these fucking nobodies who now work for these franchises now that are doing 247 and all these fucking things that Matt probably deals with. These people have no fucking clue what this player really looks like. You know what they do? Oh, he goes to IMG and he's 6'8". He's number 1 on the board. Like, you don't have, and this motherfucker could be a total fucking, special ed kid. Like, I don't understand what we're doing here. I don't get it.
Okay.
Keep drinking, JB.
Just keep drinking. 247 and the U.S. All-American Ball and all these places that rank players. We need them because nobody else is. You two motherfuckers ain't out there doing that shit. So we need somebody to go find the players.
You know what? I should start doing that. Fuck.
Do it. Start doing it. Get your ass on a plane and start going around and start charting high school players. I'm sure
that's my guy, Steve Whitlow on 247 Sports, legend.
Like Blair Angulo at 247. Like
okay, man. Before you get going, I know you got a good point.
You gonna let me answer the question or not?
Well, I want you to don't forget what but I gotta throw this in there at you. Is high school really worth evaluating now for not recruiting them?
Yes. Whoa, time out. You're absolutely recruiting high school still. The transfer portal top 10%. That's elite college football. They're purging kids and tampering. You got guys going from elite college football that probably couldn't work out and dropping down. But the basis of college football will and always will be recruiting high school kids. Period.
Look,
if you don't recruit high school kids and you don't build a foundation,
you have no college kids.
You have no foundation when the fucking wind starts blowing, period. So you better recruit the high school kids. In my opinion, like Colorado State right up the street, Wyoming, Air Force, those, because Colorado doesn't recruit the high school kids around here. You're getting there's 6 or 7 Power 5 kids out of my gym right now that you could just pluck that CU isn't interested in because they only want the portal because they're year to year. They're not trying to build out. And I understand that they probably will disagree with me on that, but I'm of the mindset that this is like, enjoy this next year. That's all I'm saying, Buff fans. Enjoy.
I had a great conversation with a very influential administrator of college. Came over for my poker party Saturday. A woman, and I've known her forever. She's every Division I coach knows this woman. She was talking about a very interesting point. She said that she wants to get together and do something at the JUCO level because she believes the same as me. It is going to be dead and buried in the next few years because what's happened is we've lightened the what's the word? Well, the academic rigor in high school has been basically chopped. So you don't need a test score right now. You don't need a lot of these things. They use COVID as the excuse for that. So these kids now, if you don't get signed to play football, even though the academic rigor is so shit, like you can get into school now basically having a 2.0, let's be honest. You don't need a test score. What that's doing, Matt, is taking it, which you know already, it's taking those kids that don't get a scholarship, let's say they don't get offered, they sit out a year. And what we used to do, Matt, was retest, right? Oh, we didn't pass the SAT. Well, we'll sit out a year, retest, and then maybe make it, get Prop 48. This is back in Matt and I's days, way back. Yeah. Now, you don't need to do anything. And they're not going JUCO. And then the JUCOs aren't getting the kids to bounce back because they're sitting in the portal. So now you have no high school kids going to JUCO and you have no portal kids going to JUCO. JUCO is about to be dead and buried.
I agree.
And that is going to be a huge loss because now you don't have the mature, older kid who has to have some adversity in his life go back to the 4-year level. You're going to get a high school kid that's never done anything. He goes to Alabama, gets kicked out year 1 for fucking credit card fraud because he didn't learn anything. And then, bam, where does he go, Matt?
Very specific.
Where does he go? He doesn't go home. He goes into a portal. And he goes D2. He goes D2 now or some other level.
So, look, I'm going to use myself as an example here. I was not a very good student, and I was pretty reckless when I was in college. I got arrested a bunch, and, thank God for Coach Barnett, Coach Wilson, because they never turned their back on me. Now, I could play, so that made it easier, but they never turned their back. They could have easily kicked me out. These days, the first time I got in trouble, I would be in the transfer portal because the coaches would look at it and go, we don't want to deal with this shit. And I would look at it and go, well, it's probably better if I just start fresh somewhere else. Sometimes it's just easier to stay and work through it and figure it out and then push forward through the adversity rather than just run around it. And I talk about this all the time. The transfer portal allows everybody, the coaches, the players, the parents, everyone involved to avoid the confrontation, to avoid the adversity, and then just fucking either bulldoze it out of the way or walk around it and be like, oh, well, we don't want to deal with the problem we created. Therefore, we're just going to move on. And That is not the way that the world fucking works. It's only the way that the transfer portal works. So I don't really know the answer to all these questions. If I did, I'd probably be in a position where I was answering these questions. But I will say this. The longer it continues like this, the worse the product is going to get.
Because hey, Matt, before we gotta
it's getting really, really, really saturated and watered down.
Hey, we got to get out of here, but I want you to look at your text message right now. Do not tell me or respond to us live, please.
Matt, can you read it out loud so I can just hear exactly what he's saying?
Read it out loud right now. Hold on.
Read it out loud because he didn't send it to me.
Read it out loud, Matt.
Realest show, Planet ERF. You should have brought it up. Realest show, Planet ERF. We don't hide shit on here.
Hey, at least we know we got people watching. And Matt, reach out because he wants to.
Coach, I got you. I got you. The list is on the way.
On the way.
The way.
All right, Matt.
What they talking about?
What is that?
He did it. You're getting better. Keep working on it.
I don't want to laugh like
that's your assignment. By Wednesday, have it down pat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Keep working at it. Keep working at it.
Hey, we got to take a break. We'll be back Wednesday with Matt. I'm sure we'll have a fight or something, and then we'll be back Wednesday morning on this show. Though we're going to break down our mock draft, Matt.
Nice. And hey, 0 to 60s rolling today at 10 a.m. Mountain, right after Coach JB show. Come over and hang out with Bree Mason tonight as we talk about whatever the fuck we're talking about today. And then I'll be back on Tuesday tomorrow with Coach Ryan Walters, the head coach of Purdue. I'll be on to talk about a lot of this shit, NIL and the transfer portal, how they manage it, and trying to get a different perspective from another coach. And then Wednesday, I'll be back here to talk shit with you two dimmies.
All right.
Peace.
Have a good one, Matt McChesney, Eminem. Clap for Big Matt McChesney.
Colorado just lost another kid, though. As we lose Matt, we also gain another corner that got lost.
In the eyes of the
this game is crazy. Hey, I'm not like. By the way, kids are leaving schools all across the country.
Let's show it then. Every time, let's see it. Like so, let's show everybody.
They don't show it. They don't film it.
Let's show it though. We still see the players leaving. Let's show it.
They don't film it though.
But let's show it.
They don't fucking make videos of it.
There was no video of this player leaving. It was a post. They're making posts of other players leaving too. Let's show that too.
We'll show it.
Show it.
I got all the Colorado shit. You get people from other schools.
Bet. That's what I'm gonna start doing, man. I'm gonna start sending you.
I gotta take a piss. Let's take a break. Smitty, brother, real quick, Smitty.
What?
Coffee, man, this morning.
What happened?
I'm doing a 5-day fast, nothing but water.
Ooh, how you feeling right now? You feel shitty? Be real.
Nah, because see if I could. So I've done it both ways. I've drank coffee only, and then I have my protein like a cheese stick or a boiled egg, and then that's it for the day.
Yeah,
I've done that. I lose weight and cut weight that way too. But the fast was just water. I've only done that for 3. Someone told me I couldn't do for 5. So I'm doing it for 5. And so all I can do is push-ups, jump rope, and water. And I can still smoke a stick, though.
Oh, my God.
Well, I'm going to smoke a stick. Fasting, I ain't Catholic.
I don't think you can stop smoke. I don't think you can stop smoking for 3 days. I don't think you can get out in your arsenal.
I don't want to.
I don't think because you can't do it. That's why.
But I've done the 3-day total fast, just water. I'm going to do the 5-day. And I might jump rope, smoking a stick, sipping water. Fuck it, all at once. Make a video. Fuck it.
Can you still jump rope? Can you still jump rope pretty good?
I'm one of the best jump ropers you've ever seen in your life. Why are you laughing?
One, because you think you're the best at everything you do. You the best. You got the best cigars. You're the best fucking jump roper.
You ain't about to do it with me, Latrell. Latrell, I be watching your videos, Latrell. Your ass better get on there with me. Shit. Hey,
Black people shit.
Hey, Latrell, you talk shit to me when I coach. That motherfucker, JB, you getting fat, huh? So you start coaching, motherfucker. Look at Latrell now. Latrell look like a goddamn little fucking pudgy ass.
Honey boy.
Latrell over there looking like a motherfucker, look like fucking Eric Bieniemy and shit.
He said motherfucker look like motherfucking cupcake, ding dong. Motherfucker like
EB.
You roasting your ass, Latrell. You roasting your ass, Latrell.
Hey, let's take a break. I gotta take a piss and give me some water.
I take a shit and get water too. So I see y'all in about 5. Peace.
What time did we start the show 4 years ago? What time are we doing it? How long? 4 years ago?
I don't know. It's pandemic. It was.
It was before COVID, homie. What do you mean? COVID had hit yet, homie.
Hey, look at that. I was 16 and motherfuckers thinking, right? I didn't lost 30 pounds.
He was talking that shit hard. He came in like this.
That's my boss, man.
That motherfucker was dead on there.
That motherfucker my boss, man.
That motherfucker head was loose.
Hey, look. In climbing.
Hey, real shit, I got to see the picture here.
That was a cat picture. I gotta find it. What's going on? Y'all just made me a Big Smitty, man. We got JB in the building. My man Spree. Roy in behind the 1 and 2 with the camera. And welcome to the Coach JB Show, Big Smitty live in the fucking cigar lounge. What you doing, JB? What you got going on?
Drinks, cause I'm like a bitch in this motherfucker.
JB ain't got no AEs, y'all. He been talking about this all week. I got all the hoes and all the AEs. There ain't not an AE in here. Come on now.
It's been on slow. I can't wear this on the shirt. You know what I'm saying? My man blows to be out there on
Big Smitty, Latrell,
shit.
JD.
I live the wrong end, y'all. We turned up, y'all. It's all good. Players fuck up. I lit the wrong, I cut the wrong side.
Ah, damn, this motherfucker's drunk already.
I just smoked other cigars. I've never done this before in my life. I'm
nervous.
I don't know why this shit ain't hit.
Nervous.
Wow.
No, take that off. Cause you don't smoke it that way. Throw that out.
I can't wait till cigar. Man,
I gotta stop 3,000 cigars for this motherfucker. I'm the guy that has to do everything around the motherfucker. I'm carrying the whole fucking squad.
I got it right now. I like this side though, JB.
Yeah.
Yeah. 17. He can't hit the big boy. Everybody stop playing with me. I don't smoke like that though. Everybody know that.
Yeah, my mother smoking cigar.
I ain't married, homie. Hold up, let me listen. I am not married. You are.
How you a leader of me?
Cause I'm not married.
You fuck everything.
Yeah, you do.
Short S tier motherfucking D.
Short, fat, everything. Tall. Short, fat, skinny, and tall. I fuck them all. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, you did get hot before, JB, on accident.
That happened.
That's what you
I know with you. Yeah. Can you reshare the story though? Everybody did
everything with him.
Reshare the story, please, about the night.
I mean, I was trying to take this motherfucker to his house, and for 3 hours, we could not make a right turn. So we kept making a left-hand turn on everything.
It probably went 3 hours, but it's at least like 30 minutes.
Right.
It's a long time. Motherfucker, all we can do is laugh, homie.
Smitty, I'm gonna tell you right now, his front door was where that TV is.
Right.
And this is the street. And you're in the right side passenger. Yeah. I'm right here. I'm driving where he is.
One-way street.
You're street. Alright? He's me, you're him.
Yeah.
That's his door. That's his door.
One-way street. Right here.
It's a one-way street.
Right.
We driving right here.
Yeah.
We do not stop to get out and go in that door. He kept going and making a left and getting out on the main street and kept going all the way around the block.
Y'all saw the house.
Saw the house. His door's right there.
He couldn't see me stop after he motherfucker kept hitting.
That's when we got the switch and you drive to the hill.
He couldn't drive, homie, so he looked at me, I looked at him, his motherfucking eyes, his blood started raining, his head started falling back on the seat. He couldn't even hold his motherfucking head up.
I wasn't high until the motherfucker said,
yeah.
He said,
nah, first of all, we ate 2 gallons of Baskin Robbins, homie.
No.
Gallons.
At first, when we had the chocolate chip cookies.
That's what we
dropped this girl off at work. She had a bag of chocolate chip cookies. We don't smoke.
Drop off and work.
I'm like, man, you know I love chocolate chip cookies, all right? Man, give me that shit. That shit ain't gonna do nothing.
Pretty me tell you that. Did I only fucked the stripper I think at one point.
Yeah.
My baby mama.
JB fucked with a lot of bad bitches. I ain't gonna even front on that shit.
That was 30, 40 years ago.
He still, yeah.
Where she's on the mic talking.
Jeff Nadu, what up?
What's up, bro? It's draft week. I'm excited.
Hell yeah. Do you bet like over and unders on who will go second, third?
Oh,
That
yeah.
really?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I go that high. I mean, a lot of the time I'm looking at kind of the 10 to 30-ish range. But yeah, I mean, I like that stuff. Absolutely.
Sorry, Jeff, I didn't give you my sad single mother whose daddy didn't love her. Coach, can you and Smitty help start a GoFundMe for my kids? I left my real job for YouTube and things didn't pan out well. Well, guess what? I need you to do a favor, sad single mother. Stick out both hands. And I want you to wish in the right and shit in the left one and see what fills up first. Because that's about the only fucking GoFundMe you're going to get from me. I don't do GoFundMes because you're all fucking shitty liars and shitty humans. And you need to go figure out how to get a real fucking job. So sounds like a you fucking problem to me. I don't fucking do. Why? Let me ask you something. Why the fuck do I need to take on your burden, you fucking cunt?
Are you going to take on ours?
I got to take on your fucking burden. I got my own fucking burdens. Can you start me a GoFundMe, you fucking shitbird ass fucking broad? Well, I already know you're not a broad. You're probably some fucking troll ass fucking shitbird in here.
I see it when I'm on the show. Like when I hop off, Jeff, that's when JB uses that time to like tap back into like full blown JB. Like he cuts people out, he do everything. Like
she wants to know, Smitty, why you. And here's what the question is, Smitty. Go ahead. Read it, Smitty.
Coach, can you and Smitty help start a GoFundMe for my kids? I left my real job for YouTube and things didn't pan out well. I would ask you this. Can you start a GoFundMe for our show so we can get a studio?
Thank you.
And you can work full speed, full blown on the show.
Yeah, I thought Smitty was going to be like, well, I like you and fuck her.
But listen, man, I would be if she would have said like, hey, like I have like real issues, like my life is spiraled out of control. Like she went with that, hey, I just am not good at YouTube. So that sounds like a you problem. Listen, let me tell you something. If you're a woman and you can't succeed at content, you suck. Like straight up. Because there's a lot of horny motherfuckers on here that will just watch you because you're a woman.
Hold on, but tell her respect to her though, because maybe she's trying to do it a different way. Maybe she's trying to do it in a way where she's not selling her ass online. She's trying to do it in a way where she's teaching. I don't know how to make brownies or something. I don't know.
I could have a girl come on and talk about the mafia, and as long as she's attractive, she'll get more views than me.
You lying. Test it out. Test it out on your next episode. Like,
Smitty,
do a whole podcast producer to give it to a bad woman and look at the views.
You do has a fine female on it. Stop.
Whoa. What I got to do with this?
I'm just telling you, you don't have no fucking, you don't have the Gorgok or whatever her name is on your show.
I can't find her.
Yeah, bullshit. Anyway, Jeff, let's dive into this. I wanted breaking news though, Bailey. I don't know if you got that breaking news, but there's going to be a bigger investigation into the Atlanta Falcons and Kirk Cousins tampering case, which seems to be even bigger. And it's crazy, Jeff, how it looms right before draft week and draft day. Wonder if the Atlanta Falcons are going to take a bigger hit than this appears to be with the Kirk Cousins. Is Kirk Cousins at the end of the day, after an Achilles rupture, really going to be worth all this smoke that the Falcons are taking from Roger Goodell and the Good Old Boy Network? I'm curious what you think on this latest news.
What's going to happen is they're going to get into the top 10 and they're going to take a quarterback and they're going to take J.J. McCarthy. That's what's going to happen here. I actually had them trading up anyway. So I think that it's funny this is happening right now. And this is always happens. You got to learn to lose some draft capital, and they're going to go up and get to take a quarterback. That's what's going to happen.
Let me ask you this. Charles, that has actually nothing to do with it, dumb fuck. We already talked about that. Let me dive into this draft thing real quick. I want to dive into this with you because we just had this is the picks currently, and I'm glad you're picking on this. These things. Jeff actually picks on this stuff, so it makes bets. We're going to have our draft on our winnable page /slap picks. We're going to have every single former NFL player on this show actually make picks too. So make sure you guys follow our winnables today because this will be the week you should do it.
I will say too, and this is just my opinion on gambling on draft positions. Same thing with like props in the Super Bowl. You have to be willing to spend money, okay? And what I mean that is, for instance, Joe Alt is the best lineman in this draft. I don't know that it's close.
I disagree.
You what?
I disagree.
But again, when you're looking at positioning where he is, he will be picked first. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you there. I don't believe that. See, what happens is Alan just made a point in this 247 college ranking systems. We have a lot of guys that never fucking played or females that are rating these college kids as 3-star, 4-star, 5-stars. They don't have a fucking clue what they're doing. And Joe Alt got a lot of popularity when he went to Notre Dame and became like this guy who everyone said, okay, this guy fits the bill. We're going to put him down as this guy. The Oregon State O-tackle is much better from top to bottom. And I wouldn't be shocked if Jim Harbaugh took a shot at it. But needless to say, you're correct on what you said. I just think that the Oregon State O-lineman is the best in the draft, but Alt will go 1, to your point. Having said that, do you see anything here? Because I made the point that the Chargers are really picking number 1 because they already have the quarterback, Jeff. They're picking 1, which probably, to your point, could be Joe Alt. It could be because I'm going to get back to the top, but Cardinals, right? Matt thinks they should get rid of fucking Kyler Murray. I do too, but I don't know if they can get out of that contract, but he said this is the time to do it. Trade that motherfucker to Tennessee, New York Giants. Somebody wants Kyler Murray. You can get out of that contract, but that's probably not going to happen. So Cardinals probably take a wideout, right? So at the number 5 spot, the Chargers really are picking, number 1, do they take a Brock Bowers that high? Or do they take a Joe Alt? Or do they get a wideout? Because you lost Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, Jeff. So you have 0 wideouts for Herbert. So there's a lot of thinking here going on in this whole thing. Do you think of that way when you're betting this?
Well, yeah, and I'm also looking at who these teams are meeting with. I'm looking at some of the tea leaves. This is the season of, I've seen that guy play, and I know he's good. No, you didn't. Half these people have never even seen these guys. They're talking about, the Samoan guy, he's the best. I'm not saying he's not the best, but you have to read into the tea leaves and who these guys are meeting with, who and what they need. I think the Chargers take an offensive lineman. I have them taking Joe Alt. And again, I meant to say that on the thought of, you also have to look into the line itself. Joe Alt is minus 600 to be chosen as the first offensive lineman. That means you got to raise 600 to win 100. He's a sizable. It is telling you what's going to happen. I think that's a perfect spot for him. You also look at the LA Chargers. I mean, look, the key is you guys know, and you guys know way more about football than I do. You need to shore up the offensive line. You have to have a great offensive line. The LA Chargers were 21st last year in sacks allowed per game. It's just not good enough. You've got to protect your big-time quarterback. I think you got to go towards the tackle, and he's, I think at least to them, one of the best on the board.
Let me ask you this. Do you go the Cincinnati Bengals route when everybody thought that to protect Joe Burrow, you had to get a tackle, and they got Jamar Chase, and it worked out. They went to a Super Bowl in just his second year because they drafted and got Higgins and Chase, and they went heavy wideouts for him, and they felt that he was good enough with his feet to get the ball out, do the things that is a next level quarterback. Do you think Harbaugh can do that and get him some weapons before he goes O-line and use the model that the Bengals used those few years ago? Because Herbert is that good, he just hasn't probably been coached yet by a quarterback guy like Harbaugh. Because Harbaugh took Kaepernick to the Super Bowl. He did what he did with J.J. McCarthy. He's a quarterback, ex-quarterback in the league. He knows what he's doing. I wouldn't put it past him.
Well, yeah, and I think, look, you look at Malik Neighbors. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense here. There's some really good receivers in this first round. They have some good young receivers already, though, and they took a couple of good receivers the last year or so. They took Quentin Johnson, a year ago?
Yeah.
But you're right. They don't have those same players they've had for seemingly a long time. They need to go out and get some weapons. But again, it doesn't really matter. You can have, Randy Moss, but if you can't protect your quarterback and he can't get the football out to Randy Moss, it's not going to matter that much. Again, Cincinnati, they were bad last year against opposing defensive lines as well. They gave up a lot of sacks. And what did we see, guys? Okay, first 6 weeks, Joe Burrow didn't play because he was injured, right?
Right.
I mean, you got to keep your quarterback on the field. A lot of that lends to the offensive line. But you're right. I mean, early on, there's a lot of really good skill position players in this draft. Roma Duzier, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas down the road, Brock Bowers, you mentioned him. So I think either go receiver or lineman.
Let's go back to the top and betting like you're people are going to bet the house that Caleb Williams goes 1, right?
Yeah,
for sure. Or not bet at all because they know he's going 1.
If
right?
you have a bunch of if there's a thing in Vegas they do called bridge jumping, and bridge jumping is you take a shit ton of money, right? Let's say $100K, and you put it on something like this. You're not going to get a large return. It's a small return, but it's easy money. It's a lock. This is the only lock you have, right?
Yeah.
Number 1. It's Caleb Williams. It's nobody else.
All right, number 2 and 3 are very intriguing because do you go Jaden Daniels? Do you go Drake May? Do you jump to J.J. McCarthy, which the NFL GM seem to be enamored with because of Harbaugh telling people this guy is a big-time NFL guy? I just didn't use him in that manner because we had an offensive line and run game and defense that was so dominant. We wanted to play ball control and win a national championship. So Harbaugh can spill that to GMs that he knows. So if he's selling, and we have a guy on our show every week in Shaun King, former NFL quarterback, who said he coached JJ in high school at IMG Academy and said the guy is the real deal, JB. And I trust Shaun because he knows the quarterback position. He coached it at South Florida. He's coached Michael Penix Jr. personally. He's had some success with a lot of these guys. So I believe what he says with JJ because we've seen a lot of quarterbacks that we didn't see their skill set, arm strength, and moxie. We didn't see a lot of things in college that you end up seeing later in the NFL. And so I don't disagree with him. We haven't seen JJ show us that he's that guy yet, but maybe Shaun's right. He is that guy, and Harbaugh knows it. Do you see JJ jumping May, Jaden, or Penix?
I could see him. I have him in Minnesota. I could see Minnesota taking him, trying to get into the top 10.
And is it worth the bet, is my point to you? Is it worth me betting that he could possibly go to Washington or New England?
No. Here's the 3 best quarterbacks, at least to me. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. Those are the top 3. And it's really a question of, does Washington take Daniels or do they take Drake May? For some reason, and maybe I'm crazy, I know they only won 4 games last year. I don't hate their roster, to be honest. Like I don't hate their defense. I don't hate their offense. They have Terry McLaurin, who's a big-time receiver. I actually don't hate. Yeah, I don't hate that roster. I think giving them a quarterback that could come in and play right away, which is Jaden Daniels, I think that makes them significantly better. And all of a sudden, they go from being a 4-win team to a 7 or 8-win team, maybe. Yeah, I would go Jaden Daniels here. That's just my opinion.
Shaun King doesn't like Drake May. I really am not high on him either. He is too big of a body, Jeff. And I've seen a lot of these guys. Big frame, big arm. That we think he's a big arm. He doesn't have the arm for the size of his body. Like he's supposed to be a big freakish talent, but the ball does not jump off his arm like it should for a guy that size, like a Herbert, a Josh Allen. The ball should be snapping off his hand, and it's not.
Let me ask you this too, JB, and maybe this is a little bit of a reach, but the Commanders, they just had Sam Howell, right? They gave him away. They sent him over to the Seahawks. Sam Howell,
string cheese, yeah,
right, exactly. Sam Howell he went to North Carolina, correct? If I'm not mistaken. Yep. He was just again, I'm not saying I was the exact same quarterback, but I just feel like if I'm the organization, I don't know if I want to go down that same route again, especially with a guy with Drake May, who again, we have a lot of questions. It'd be different if he was just like a guaranteed lock. He was just no, we have a lot of questions for him. And you just thank you for that, Bailey. You just gave up the previous North Carolina quarterback for a Chico stick and some string cheese. Now you're going to try to give it another go with the same guy. That's why, like, if I bet some money on this, I think I'm going with Jaden Daniels going to Washington, because I think new ownership, they want to go out there, a different look, a different feel. The last time they really had some type of excitement, if I'm being honest, to me, is when RG3 was there his rookie year. And again, I'm not saying this guy, I don't know how good Jay Nels is going to be, but from a stylistic standpoint, he's a guy who's mobile, who can throw the ball. He at least he's going to sell tickets at bare minimum. So
here's a point. Latrell question he has is a great point, because I was bringing it up actually. Latrell thinks like me because he's coach now and former player that had to be in someone's system like mine that was predicated off the running backs protection scheme. Here's the thing. The question he has is, what percentage of sacks do you put on the fact that today's QBs don't know how to properly set the protection? I put twofold on this, Jeff, and this is my point on Herbert taking a receiver with Harbaugh. The protection is going to be taught by a legitimate coach that understands it, number one. The quarterback's going to know the protection. Number two, he's going to know how to set the back to the protection. Number three, he's going to know how to ID the Mike backer, and we adjust accordingly. And number four, he's going to know who's hot and who's not. Joe in Cincinnati knows this. And I'm trying to figure out, does he think Herbert knows this? Because if you do, you can get a receiver. And that is kind of my point on, do we get, because Jeff, at some point, you're going to have to take some receivers for Herbert.
Right.
And I don't know. You can't depend on this kid that they got from TCU last year who underachieved.
Well, and that's why I can see them going like the Malik Neighbors route for sure. But let me also throw out one other thing about Washington. OC is Kingsbury. Jaden Daniels seems to fit really well in something like what he does there. Listen, I also think Drake May, it really is going to depend on where. Here's why it would hurt if he goes to the Patriots. I mean, is Gerard May a guy that can develop him? Can that group develop him? He's going to have to be a guy that comes in a year from now or so and be. I don't know that he has to come in and win right away, and I don't think he will. Daniels is more of a guy that can just slot right in right away under Cliff Kingsbury. I think that works well there.
New England is a crazy one too. New England, because either one of those quarterbacks that you like, Drake May or Jaden Daniels, going to New England, to me, it's similar situation right now in New England that. Maybe better situation, but it's very similar and comparable. That Bryce Young when he took Carolina last year. Like, this team has zero weapons on offense. They have a bad O-line. They have no run game, and their defense is in rebuild mode with the new head coach Mayo that played there and understands Belichick's system. He may try to emulate it, but at the same time, they're light years away from being fucking relevant again, in my opinion, in the AFC East. Do you take what's the difference to your point? Because you make good points. What's the difference? If I'm Jaden Daniels, I'm like, I might want to go to Washington over fucking New England.
I would absolutely. I mean, you got Terry McLaurin. You got, again, whether or not you like Cliff Kingsbury, he's an exciting coach. He has an interesting, kind of way of doing things as an OC. It seems like they have a future. Look, I'm not saying they're going to win the NFC East next year, but they have a decent team. You're right. New England's a mess. And no one feels sorry for New England. They've won plenty of Super Bowls. No one cares. They have a lot of needs. And someone in your chat makes a good point. You could go anywhere you want if you're New England. They have so many fucking needs. Where do you even start?
Close your eyes and just pick something.
Exactly.
Okay, so Arizona with the mental midget and Kyler Murray. He's going Marvin Harrison, right? No question.
Yeah, and look, I've said before, I actually like Kyler Murray a lot more than you do. I know you're not a big fan of his. But yeah, I think you give him another year and you put the best receiver in this draft on that team, and you go from there. They also have another pick late in this draft, 27th, via the Texans, where I think they can address that defense a little bit. But yeah, you go out and get your best player available. And look, then you put him on that team and you say, okay, Kyler, here you got another year or two. You got a great receiver. You got a star-studded cast now. Now go and do something. And if you can't do it, then you move on.
I'm going to give you some JB sources intake here that we love to do on this show with Smitty. What if I told you that Larry Fitzgerald, who on record is like, fuck this guy, Kyler Murray. I don't fuck with him. That's a fact. I've been on the golf course with the man. Number one. Number two, what if I told you that Larry Fitzgerald is very tight with Smitty's boy, in Marvin Harrison Sr.? And what if I told you that, you see where I'm going, Smitty, and Larry Fitzgerald told Marvin Harrison Sr., your son does not want to play with this motherfucker. So where are you at with that take? And can a receiver be so cloutful that he can say, I'm not going this place, just like a quarterback can now seemingly do?
Well, look, I'm going to tell you right now, it blows my mind that we do not discuss Marvin Harrison Sr. as a person. He is a bad guy. Like, I'm going to tell you guys this to the dead eye. He is a bad dude. He's a bad individual. I'm serious.
But it has no relevance with his son.
You're right. It doesn't. I'm just saying it's like we don't look into it. You know, you guys ever watch Power? You ever watch Power?
Yeah.
James St. Patrick was this really good guy, but deep down, he was a bad motherfucking dude. Truly.
All right. All I know is Marvin Harrison won't help me win a Super Bowl. He's a Hall of Fame, one of the greatest receivers of all time, Indianapolis legend, and that's why. And we're gonna keep it at that.
Hey, Jeff, he ain't Darrell Henley.
Listen,
you know who that is?
If you're, yes, I do. And if you're a Philly guy, I'm just gonna say it. If you're a Philly guy, you know.
And
you know
same with Darrell Henley, LA guy, I knew. I mean, this guy's in jail still to this day, and he was a fucking Ram great. And it is what it is. Darrell didn't have a son, unfortunately, but Marvin does.
The kid is great. He's a great receiver.
My question is, does the kid have enough clout at receiver to demand not being drafted by a guy if those rumors are true? And Fitzgerald and Marv talk, and they said, hey, you don't want to go there with this guy. Your son needs a QB right out the gate in the NFL. And if you don't think Kyler Murray, you like him more than I do. So do you really think that Kyler Murray is going to sit there and get him the ball on time? We haven't seen it yet. So I don't understand how you would see him doing that with Marvin Harrison.
Well, listen, I mean, you obviously are much more well-versed in deciding if a guy's a good quarterback or not. I just know whenever I bet on Kyler Murray, he makes plays, he extends plays.
And that's a great point. Yeah. Like, that's my point to you, too. Like, those are off-schedule plays that he makes fantasy points on. He's not making plays in the pocket on time, boom, throws a post for a touchdown. Marvin Harrison's going to require those things as a rookie. He's not going to be the guy just running around back there because Kyler breaks the pocket and now I got to run escape drills all day and I had to depend on you throwing me the ball wide open after you break the pocket. I don't see that being conducive for a rookie wideout, and that's what I don't know.
But you know this. A great receiver can help a young quarterback considerably. I'm not saying he's a young quarterback, but he's still fairly young in his maturation, right? You look at what a young quarterback could do for Jalen Hurts, a Josh Allen. Again, that's what I'm talking about here. And listen, if it doesn't work out next year, then salute, get rid of
it. And again, I think I'm not sure we overblow it, but it's not like every single play is Kyler Murray's fucking running around 30 seconds sprint. Like, it's times where he sits down in that pocket and lets that thing go too. Now, like, let's be real. So,
and Smitty, remember too, and this is something that JB, I get he doesn't like him, but we saw what Arizona looked like without him, and we know that it's very difficult in the NFL today to have just a solid quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So you have to take what you have. This is who you have. Look, we know he's not ever going to be Patrick Mahomes or some other great quarterback, but he's
Kyler's solid though. Kyler's a solid middle of the pack quarterback with elite level talent at least. And at his peak, which we saw probably a couple years ago, he could be in the MVP conversation, which is what he was 2 seasons ago when he was healthy. So that's what
here's the bigger picture of which it skips over a lot of folks.
Let's skip it.
The problem is when I can plug and play a Colt McCoy and a Josh Dobbs, and offensively, statistically, numerically, and analytically, they're better than
for a couple games. Yeah, for a couple games. Yeah,
and then that's the fundamental issue we have. See, what happens is we create this offense for freaks of nature like Kyler Murray, because he's no doubt he's a freak. We create offenses for him to be off schedule, though. Like, we know he can break the pocket and make a fucking 20-second play that we saw against the Raiders, and he's running around back there and walks in the end zone in overtime, and oh, that's a hell of an offensive schematic. No, it's not. You designed a play. This guy made it fucking work because he's such a little, freak back there. that's the problem we have nowadays, Jeff. Like, we don't have any quarterback that's legitimately fits a system that we
listen, but again, he has not played a full season in 3 or 4 years.
Jeff, that's my point.
He's either going to be Carson Wentz or he's going to make that next transition up to, a really solid NFL quarterback.
But Jeff, you can't play a full season and be in this manner because he's going to get hurt again running around.
Sure. I hear you.
The problem I have, that's like the big point of it all. Like, that's why we see these guys get hurt, because they don't have the concept of, all right, I can save my body by throwing this out route to the tight end, knowing the coverage and who's hot. Instead, I don't know any of that shit. And listen, I'm not even talking the rumors of Fortnite and all this video game shit. I don't even care. The bottom line is what you do on the field. And the bottom line is the field shows that you don't know coverage. Like,
here's what we do know, though, and this is just a fact. They are not going to move on from him at this point. And if Marvin Harrison Jr. is there, it's a lock. They're taking him at the number 4 spot, and they're going to say, okay, we'll see what happens next year this time. And remember, they have a late first-round pick as well where they can address the defense or the offensive line. We know they're not going to take anything other than a receiver. They're not going to take a quarterback. They're not going to take an offensive line.
I'm with you. We're in this top 10 here. The Jets being 10. Again, a fucking great pick again for a Jets team that I thought had the best offseason and who had a great draft 2 years ago, who are still benefiting from that draft. When they took my kid, Jermaine Johnson, that D-line now could be the best D-line in football. Where are you at in that top 10? Any major shifting, meaning trading up or down, do you see here? Or even in the top 20 maybe?
I think we see Minnesota, like I said, get into the top 10, and they may do that through the sanctions or whatever they call them with this tampering stuff. Yeah, as far as big things, though, not really. The New York Jets are interesting because we know with Aaron Rodgers coming back, we expect to be a Super Bowl contender right now. You already have a Garrett Wilson there. Brock Bowers, I think, makes a lot of sense at 10. I think they either go Brock Bowers or offensive lineman. And the issue is it's a little high to take J.C. Latham. Fashanu, maybe a little high as well. Joe Alt's likely already off the board. I think they go Brock Bowers here at 10. And you give Aaron Rodgers yet another weapon.
I don't think he makes it. I would pick, if I was betting on this, which I'm going to bet because a lot of it based on your knowledge, I'm going to bet and take a few hot shots out in the dark there. I say the New York Giants take Brock Bowers I
don't think Neighbors gets past them.
If Smitty's guy retires, because the Giants need a tight end that's a dual. Do you know anything, Smitty? Is he retiring?
I haven't spoke to him, so I don't know. But either way, he's past his prime.
That's what I'm saying. I like Brock Bowers there for Daniel Jones, Jeff, only because we've seen Daniel Jones struggle when he has no O-line and no receivers, right? If you get him a guy that's close in proximity to the line of scrimmage, like a big-time tight end, it's easier for a Daniel Jones, who is athletic as shit, who can make plays as well that we were just talking about, but he has a safety blanket, similar to, i.e., Lamar Jackson, that he has with his tight ends groups. So get Daniel Jones a tight end at 6. You can still go and try to get another receiver later on with a trade. But right now, because the second round is going to have some receivers, Giants have second round picks. I don't know. I don't know if Brock Bowers makes it to 10, but if he does, I agree with you.
The Giants need to get fucking Michael Penix.
I mean, I've heard they can't get out of that money, Smitty. I don't think they can. You're not, if you can't get out of the money, just similar to Kyler Murray in Arizona, because I'll be honest with you. If I were a fly on the wall, I would bet that Arizona was like, fuck, if I can get out of this contract, I might draft Michael Penix. You know what I'm saying? Like I could easily see that happening. I could say that happening in New York as well. Fuck, we would love to get a quarterback, but we can't get out of this 160 that we just signed this dude to. So we have to stick with them. And if that's Jeff's thinking, what I think it is, what do you take? Malik Neighbors, or do you go get a tight end? 6 is an intriguing pick right here, because I think the New York Giants have a pick here that it's intriguing here. Well, Jeff, so you're saying you think the NFL will swap Minnesota and Atlanta over the sanctions?
I think they could. I think it's a possibility. You also have to remember, I mean, they lost Leonard Williams as well, the Giants. I don't know if they're going to go defensive line here. I think, again, receiver makes a lot of sense. They have good receivers. We know they took Jalen Hyatt recently. They have Wan'Dale Robinson. He's a young player. But I think getting a Rome Oduzia and Malik Neighbors in there. But you're right. Brock Bowers could be interesting too. I think it really depends on the health of Darren Waller going forward. But if Brock Bowers gets by the Giants, I don't think Tennessee takes him. I think the Jets will take him at 10 if that happens. They got to get past the Giants. I think he's earmarked for the Jets at 10, Brock Bowers.
Yeah,
we'll see, man. It's gonna be interesting. It's an interesting draft, man.
Now, any other shockers do you see in this whole thing? Do you see any shockers from anyone moving up? Because the big shocker would be Minnesota moving way up if they can. I don't like as it sits right now. Do you think JJ falls to 11 to their lap?
No, I think they'd have to. I mean, I think for them, they'd feel comfortable kind of moving up a little bit and getting him maybe at 8-ish. But then I also think to myself, I mean, who's going to take him? I mean, Atlanta's not going to. I mean, do they take him? No.
They got Kirk Cousins.
Right, yeah, they're not going to take him. Chicago's not going to take him.
Bears got Keller Williams. Jets got Aaron Rodgers. You got Justin Herbert. I guess the Giants are stuck with Daniel Jones.
You got two basic rookies in Tennessee already.
I'm really just looking at it from the standpoint of I think the sanction-wise, they'll just move them up. But, yeah, I don't know that they have to.
In reality, if it stays as is, I think there's only going to be 3 quarterbacks off the board by the time it gets to the Vikings. It's going to be Chicago, Washington, the Patriots. After that, 4 through 10, I don't think they're getting a quarterback.
The three guys you're discussing could be 3 guys that you don't expect either. So that's JJ included in that 3, possibly throwing a monkey wrench at this whole thing.
What are the Broncos going to do? Are they just chilling?
I'm glad you I want to go to pick after. I want to ask Jeff real quick about the Raiders because AP obviously coached Jaden Daniels in college at Arizona State. He recruited him personally. Has a relationship there. Is there any way the Raiders can move up that high?
Well, listen, I don't think they're going to have to either. Look, they got to go out and get a left tackle. I mean, they have nothing at left tackle. Jermaine Awufier, I think his name is. He left already. They don't have a left tackle. They got to go out and shore up the offensive line. And this is where your Fuaga could be. Joe Alt. I mean, it really depends, who's there. But I would go offensive line here if I'm the Raiders. You mentioned Denver. Just going to say it. I don't know if this is where they go. I would be blown away if the Philadelphia Eagles don't move up. I'm sure I'd be shocked if they pick at 22. They have 2 second-round picks.
You're saying a swap with Denver?
Yeah, it's possible. It could be a little high.
Denver needs a Q, though.
Because right now they got Jarrett Stidham as their number 1. And I'm gonna be real. There's an article that just came out the other day from like a long time Broncos insider that allegedly the Broncos are willing to gamble their future, so to speak, on this draft, meaning that their Patrick Surtain, I'm hearing, is a name that might be part of a package to trade up to get a quarterback. That's one of the big time rumors that's going on right now.
But they could also trade with the Philadelphia Eagles, go to 22 and take Bo Nix. They can, it's not like Bo Nix is going to be taken in the top 20, so they could do that there. The Philadelphia Eagles need a corner. Okay, Darius Slay is 33 years old. James Bradbury is 31. He didn't play well last year. They got to go up and get a corner, and it's either Quinyon Mitchell, who they like. Look, Quinyon Mitchell is the best corner in this draft, but I think they like Terrion Arnold a little bit more. We could see them making a move as well. I think Denver, they're going to have an opportunity too. They like a quarterback most. We'll see.
And one of my great friends is really best friends with Sean Payton. Smitty got to know him. He thinks that he loves JJ McCarthy, and I wouldn't be shocked if he does something in Denver to try to get him, because I think all coaches know, especially in the circle, like Harbaugh, Peyton, both Harbaughs, they're all boys. I wouldn't be shocked if Harbaugh said, "Hey man, I'm keeping Herbert. There's no way I'm getting rid of him. You need to go get JJ," because they're really good friends. If he tells him, "Hey, JJ's a real dude that you like," 2 QB guys, Harbaugh and Peyton, I could see Denver trying to make a move to get JJ McCarthy if Peyton truly believes Harbaugh, like I think they are, because they're really good friends. I could see that. So where does Denver go up to get JJ at? Where do they? What would they have to do?
Probably have to get, they probably have to get it to 8-ish.
To 8.
Yeah.
And if Atlanta loses some of those things, that means Minnesota would bump up. Everyone would. I don't know
You
what
worry
they
about
do.
Minnesota.
I don't know what they do.
Yeah, you worry about Minnesota taking him. That's the worry there.
You said
But as
Minnesota
Smitty
got
said-
Sam Darnold, JV. You said they're all in on Sam Darnold, I thought.
It's a 1-year fix.
That's your guy, right?
But as Smitty said, I mean, you have to look at around that 10 spot. There's a bunch of teams. I mean, Atlanta's not taking a quarterback. Chicago's already going to take one. Jets ain't going to take a quarterback. So you're kind of protected a little bit. Minnesota is the worry if you're Denver. That one slot above you is the worry.
Hey, Jeff, one of my former players is a huge Eagles fan, and he wants this. He said this. What do you think about this? Eagles can't keep drafting corners. Got to develop Josh Jobe, Keila Ringo, or Alabama corner we drafted last year.
But here's what he's not telling you. The Philadelphia Eagles have not drafted a cornerback since Lito Shepherd in 2002. That was 22 years ago. They need to go out and get a real corner, not a 7th-round pick or an undrafted player. You got to realize some of these corners they've had over the Jalen Mills was a 7th-round pick. I mean, Kurt Coleman was a safety, a 7th-round pick. The Eli Ricks, these guys are trash heaps. They're off the corner. That's what you're getting. Go out and get a real corner. Okay, stop screwing around. Get your CB1, right? Because Darius Slay ain't going to be around much longer, right? And look, a lot of people are talking about Nate Wiggins. Look, Nate Wiggins might be, in the end, the best corner from a pure cover standpoint. The one issue that Nathan Wiggins has is, and they don't like this in Philadelphia, he will not play the run. He just doesn't. He's more of just a pure corner. I like him. Keely Ringo, I don't think he's an answer. You got to go out and get the best player. And Terrion Arnold is the best corner in this draft, or Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah, Pete Carroll did it and took a guy out of UTSA or whatever, the big 6'3"
Yes.
corner. And that's what you got to do. You got to get long corners. This guy, Miles Wonderbread, JB's a clown. He'll be high on a player like McCarthy, but he'll critique Mahomes. I'm not high on McCarthy, dumb fuck. I never said I like McCarthy, dumb fuck. I said what people are saying about McCarthy. You don't listen because you're fucking idiot. I got to go into this Buffalo Bills thing. What are they going to do with after losing, Diggs, after we've seen all this shit happen? I don't like black quarterbacks, Alan Luttrell, by the way. What do they do in Buffalo?
They need a weapon, right? They got to get a weapon. They got a receiver.
Yeah, it's who do you like more? Is it Adonai Mitchell or is it Xavier Worthy? Is it, do they somehow get a Brian Thomas? I mean, there is no other option here. Okay, you have to go receiver. They've gotten destroyed. Gabe Davis is gone a year or so ago. I mean, you mentioned Diggs. Now you're back to square one with Josh Allen, where it's like he's right there. He has no weapons. And look, we know if he tries to do too much, very turnover prone, they got to go out and get a player. A.D. Mitchell makes a lot of sense here, but Xavier Worthy makes a lot of sense too. It's really hard to go wrong. There'll be plenty of good receivers here to take.
I'm tripping. I'm looking at my stats. I've sent 18 black quarterbacks D1, 3 to the league. I just was trying to refresh to let Kay know. So look, the Rams are intriguing real fast before we move on. The Rams have, I think, had a great offseason. I thought they did better and over-excelled in what we thought they would do last year. The Rams are a serious contender, in my opinion, this year. They lost Aaron Donald, of course, but listen, that's what happens. Are you high on the Rams? I know late in the year last year you started to like them, and you said early in the year you thought they'd be better than they were. Do you like them this year moving in? I think they're going to win the West.
Yeah, I was where you were last year with them. I really liked them. I thought that roster was really solid. Here's the issue, though. I mean, you just lost a Hall of Famer, right? Yeah. I mean, you got to address the defensive line here, Smitty's territory. You got to go out and get a pass rusher, a defensive tackle. Obviously, look, Byron Murphy, he's around this time. Jared Verse out of Florida State. They got to go out and get the trenches addressed here, particularly on the defensive side. I agree with you. They're not far away. But, you're kind of getting to that territory where, and Pittsburgh made this mistake late in Ben Roethlisberger's career. They never went out and looked to find the heir apparent. Who's the next quarterback going to be? Look, I think first round, that's a little high. You're not going to do that here, but they got to start doing that at some point, maybe in the second or third round, going out and finding that next quarterback. Because Matt Stafford's older. It's not going to be there forever. But yeah, I would go defensive line. You have to address the hole that losing Aaron Donald.
Here's the guy. Here's the guy that is going to probably go number one.
But I watched your pro day, and it was extremely strategic. A lot of times, a pro day is, okay, let him do the things that are eye-popping. We saw it with, who was it, Zach Wilson. He's rolling to the left, throwing across his body. We see all those things. I've watched you do those things in live time. Yep. So your pro day wasn't about that. It was about your feet. It was showing that you could throw.
It was going back to the trolling kind of smart ass me, because everybody wants to. If you go look at the stats, and I have a screenshot of it. If you go look at the stats, and on average, I am the most dead center even dude for scrambling and throwing in the pocket. It's just, I make more highlights, and so that's what they show. But dead even stat of scramble to pocket, I am the most dead even on the farthest end of the spectrum from anybody else. As we know, X and Y axis, I am the farthest from all of them.
What the fuck are we talking about here?
Yeah, so listen, I'm going to tell you about this guy right here. This guy is going to surprise all of you motherfuckers, okay? He is playing the Ryan Garcia card here. He's making you think he's a lunatic, but deep down, I'm telling you,
he's a
Patrick Mahomes, baby. He's going to be that kind of player. Watch. You heard
I don't think he's a lunatic. I think he's got feminine energy, and
Who cares? What does it matter?
No, he's just super cocky. That's what it is. He's super cocky. But if he backs it up, it don't matter. If you back it up,
why it matters is at one point, Jeff, you have to take a bunch of fucking men in the locker room and lead them to the parade. I've never seen it work. He would be the first one, Jeff. The first one. I hope you're betting this I hope you're not betting it. He would be the first one to do it. That's why I say it's a problem.
So what's your prediction, JB?
What do you mean by that? First one to do what? What are you insinuating?
To be a guy that we've seen come out of college who has been this way, cocky, arrogant, talks this talk, blah, 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 but yet on the other side goes and cries to his mommy, talks about dogs and Netflix, and then paints his nails. We haven't seen that guy at quarterback lead men to the promised land. So it would be the first one of that kind to do it. And that's what I mean by it. Now, if he's trolling us like Ryan Garcia, so be it. I don't really care. But like at the end of the day, I don't see him jumping off the film like someone I've yet to see in my life, Jeff. Like people are acting as if this guy is someone we've never seen. And I'm like, dog, he's nothing more than anything else that comes out of this draft every year. Like he's not a huge freak of nature that I've never seen. Like he's a really good, talented guy, but he's not 6'5". He's not Josh Allen. He's not Herbert. He's not like Joe Burrow. He's not
6'5". He doesn't need to be 6'5". Patrick Mahomes is 6'2".
Yeah, but he's not that guy. He doesn't have that arm talent. He doesn't have the off-balance throwing capabilities.
Yeah, some of you listen. I'm throwing you in with some of you.
He don't look like that. Caleb Williams does not have the arm like fucking Mahomes. Stop.
I'm not saying he does.
I'm not saying he's Mahomes. I don't know, but his arm talent. We're talking about just talent. Just talent. We're not talking about talent. His arm talent is superior though. Like it's high level. His the talent, JB.
And it's also shame, JB.
Throwing across his body, throwing in the air. Like, am I tripping? Like
Go ahead, Jeff. What were you saying?
JB, it's also a shame, too. You mentioned a lot about his off-the-field stuff. You didn't mention the fact that he runs his own foundation called Caleb Cares, where he helps people that are being bullied, and he helps young kids and things of that nature. So,
I like bullies, so I don't like it.
Well, you know.
I like bullying. I miss bullying. We need bullying back. Maybe we wouldn't have so many fucking soft pussies out here.
Well, listen. At the end of the day, though, you're making him out to be Ryan Leaf, okay? Look, this is a difficult
thing. We don't know yet.
We don't. But we also don't know if he could be really good, too.
Yeah,
right. Better than bad.
Okay, I got to go, just like you, Jeff, when you bet, you go for what you know, And that makes you a great bettor. I have to go for what I know in this quarterback prediction game, which I've pretty much been spot on since Ryan Leaf. Here's the issue I have.
Well, no, you haven't, though.
No, right. I'm sorry. You can't say that.
Really.
JB be
You
throwing
hate
little
Lamar
lines out
Jackson.
there.
You hate Patrick Mahomes. You hate all sorts of good
We're talking about drafts, Jeff. We're talking about guys getting drafted and what they did after the draft. I've been pretty fucking spot on if you go back and look at anything I've ever said or done. Here's what I'm saying.
You loved Daniel Jones, didn't you?
Yeah. Still do.
He's been awful.
I still do. Just like everyone defends Justin Fields with no receivers, no O-line, I defend Daniel Jones the same fucking way. Actually had a worse O-line and worse receivers than Justin Fields, but he gets a pass, someone doesn't. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Let's dive into this, though. Caleb Williams is 0-5 in big-time games against big-time opponents. He was garbage against Tulane in a bowl game where he had to lead men to the parade, as I mentioned, and a backup played this year in a bowl game that he set out and broke school records. And the locker room seemed like, oh, my God, we love playing for this guy. They did not love playing for that guy. And it's clear and evident everywhere he's been from Oklahoma to USC. I follow the pattern just like you do in betting. I see it, and I don't think you can just switch it off when you get to the grown man league and go, oh, I'm actually not that guy. I've been trolling you the whole time. No, that's not how it works. So I that's what I see, and I want to that's just my 2 cents to you on that regard.
My biggest concern with Caleb Williams is the fact of, like, can he win the big game? And with that, when the going gets tough, how will he perform? How will he react? Those are the questions that I have for him. I don't have any questions about his talent. Like I said, I went in, I got a chance to watch him play in person. That's why JB and I disagree a little bit on the talent side, because I'm like, I'm seeing this guy make some throws that are just incredible. Like, where all his body weight is going left, and he throws a fucking 40-yard bomb right, and it's accurate, and it's like, so, like, from an arm talent standpoint, I gotta disagree. But my thing is more so the intangible side. Like, how good of a leader is he? How good is he when it gets tough? Those are things that we got to just see in the moment to understand. And we've never heard. I haven't heard any teammates come out and say they didn't like playing with him. So I don't know if that's
I've never heard it.
If you have inside scoop information, I don't remember any teammate coming out and saying, oh, fuck this dude. Like, so I don't know if that's an opinion or a lie or what.
Time out. What teammate have you seen said, I fuck with this dude?
But they're not saying
no, homie. Come on now. Let's keep it real. You got to go both ways. You know why they don't come out and say I don't fuck with them?
Why?
Because you know what, Smitty?
In a social media era, why not?
No.
If you fuck with somebody, you ain't even got to say it. It just was understanding got to be explained. You only say something when you don't fuck with somebody. Typically,
I'm gonna break it down.
Like, that's how shit works.
For you.
Break it down.
You know what? It's okay. It's all right. That means it's not good. When people say, how good is it? It's all right. Well, that means it's not fucking good either.
Yeah, but JB.
So, hold on, Jeff. Here's the point I'm gonna make. Cats don't come out and say negative things about guys, because when they get drafted and they go into the draft rooms of general managers and head coaches, guess what? Guess what Cremani, whatever his name is, from Colorado is taking right now in transferring? He is taking major heat by head coaches and college ADs because of a YouTube video he just released, talking and saying about, I don't want to play for clicks. I want to play for a real program. Well, guess what? Deion's name holds so much weight that now colleges are scared to take Cromartie or whatever his name is to their school because he came out and spoke. Players don't speak badly about anyone. Show me one player that's came out and defended Deshaun Watson, Smitty. And then show me one guy that's came out and bashed him. See, that's the thing. If you don't talk good about him, doesn't mean that he's not good. It means that you can't talk about the dude in public because you're going to get ridiculed. But if he was such a good dude, Smitty, then many people should come out and say, hey, I love Caleb Williams. He was great to play for. Why haven't we seen that? Come on, man. You got to go both ways with this shit. I'm tired of hearing, oh, nobody's bashed him. Nobody said any good things either.
I don't go both ways. We just disagree. I just think when you like somebody, this is my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right, wrong. This is my opinion. When you like somebody, like, you don't need, people don't come out just fucking, oh, just love him so much. Nah, usually you only hear when it's opposite. When you don't focus on somebody, when somebody's a bad guy, someone's a bad locker room guy, when somebody's a bad teammate, somebody's treated you wrong in the locker room, that's when you hear the players who, every player not going to the league. So some players don't give a fuck about the NFL, but they're still a teammate. They're playing with them in college. Those guys, you hear from those guys coming. I haven't heard anything, like not one snippet of any sign, anything at all that he's bad character. I don't know. Maybe he is. You got more insight than me when it comes to these colleges, so maybe you heard something I haven't heard.
And here's what JB didn't tell you either. He just made the case that Caleb Williams doesn't win the big games. He didn't play when it matters most. Drake May didn't play in his bowl game. Neither did Jaden Daniels.
And I'm not high on Drake May.
But none of these players play in the bowl game. That no one does.
Well, I've been on record, Jeff, talking about how I hate that. That has nothing to do with this particular case. We already knew what this was.
What big game did Jaden Daniels win?
Jeff, my point was when Caleb played in the bowl last year, they got beat by Tulane. When he didn't play, they fucking won, and the guy broke a record. That's my point. It isn't about Caleb Williams not playing in the bowl. That's what you didn't miss. You missed that point. I don't care about him playing. We already know this game has become so fucked up, in my opinion. I hate to sit out. I hate motherfuckers sitting out. It wasn't my point at all. My point is he was shitty in his last bowl game. He opted out, and they won without him. The locker room was on cloud 9 to play for this other QB.
I'm going to just be honest, though. If Caleb Williams wins, nobody gives a fuck what he does.
You're right.
If he paints his nails, that don't mean shit to me. Fuck do I care? Just get me to football, man. I don't really – none of means.
And to Eric Weddle's point.
Cures all.
And to Eric Weddle's point. If the kid does whatever he does and they win, that's all the men's league cares about in that locker room.
Exactly.
But when you don't win and you do all that, it becomes a huge fucking distraction. And that is his point. That's what happens so many times in the NFL locker room. You got to either be A, humble pie, humility, play hard, go out and get results, or B, be this crazy Dennis Rodman all you want, but get 20 boards a game, shut down the best fucking offensive player, and win me rings. Nobody gives a fuck if you wear a dress and date Madonna. If this dude doesn't, though, Jeff, with the painted nails, crying to mama, talking Netflix with the doggies, then there's a problem. Now
then he's gonna. That's right. He's either going to be a poor man's Kyler Murray or a Patrick Mahomes. Then we'll see.
No, we will. That's all we can do. Betting is betting. That's why they call it betting and gambling. So, I mean.
But here's one thing I will bet on. He's going to be the number one pick. That's just a fact.
No question. No doubt. I got to ask you, though, in this the last thing before we get out of here, we got 5 minutes. Your takeaway just before tomorrow we get Steve Kim on, though. Obviously, they took shots at Steve live on the podium. I don't know if you see that,
I saw that, yeah.
Your takeaway from the troll act, do you believe it really was a troll act by Garcia? And I bet Garcia, obviously. I went against the money like you say sometimes, so I went against the money of Haney. I actually won. What's your takeaway from this whole thing?
I think Ryan Garcia is someone we need to study. I've said for years, Kim Kardashian is an American hero. We don't give her enough credit for what she's been able to do in her life off of having no talent. This is the art of social media and using the internet for what it is. And I do it on a very small level, okay? I've done this for years. The person that I am on the internet is a little bit different than the person I am in real life. You have to do certain things. You have to be interesting. And Ryan Garcia has learned that. If you're just a regular motherfucker, nobody's going to buy this shit. You know why I've been in this business for as long as I've been in it, and I've made money off the internet for over a decade, and I don't have a regular job, is because I've done shit differently. I'm interesting. People want to see what I have to say. I'm no talent. I don't have much that anyone else doesn't have. You've done it. Smitty will do it. We all have something, and we've used that in the way that it allows us to get paid. Ryan Garcia just does it at a much higher level. If Ryan Garcia didn't act the way he did, they wouldn't have had near as much success with that fight. And guess what? In the end, here's one thing I know about myself and about you and Ryan Garcia. In the end, at 6 o'clock in the morning when you start your show, doesn't matter what you do, you're always going to put out a good product. Same with me, same with Ryan Garcia. He's a professional, and he knows how to sell them.
Let So the Andrew Tate character that I didn't really know too much about basically was a martyr to so many. He gets 9 million fucking followers on Twitter and becomes a hero. He goes to jail, and I could see that happening here with Ryan Garcia. He was basically this guy that was a clown show, and nobody believes him, and he came out with the Epstein file. Oh, whatever the fuck you want to say he did. And then he comes out, and it looks like he trolled everybody. He wins. He bet on himself $2 million. He won $12 million, I heard. He had to pay $1.5 million. He already had. This is playing chess and checkers. Like, this is the difference. And, like, go ahead. Here's around $1.5 million for being 3 pounds overweight. I'll take $10.5 million back from winning a bet to beat your ass that you all thought I was fucking.
That's
around.
one thing we forgot about, too. He was overweight. People are like, oh, this guy's fucking sloppy. He's drinking every day. He's going to gas the fuck out. My man didn't gas the fuck out. Bro, in the first round, he was making,
He caught him in the first minute. He hit him with that hook in the first minute. Yeah.
Devin Haney, I think it was one of those,
like, oh shit,
this motherfucker ain't, look at him. He's overweight. I'm going to be too cocky here. He's obviously on another fucking planet. You know how many people think I'm crazy?
I thought you was crazy.
People think JB's crazy? Oh, but in the end, it's all game. It's
might be a little truth behind the JB part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely nuts. But
hey, Jeff, it's to your point. There was the worst NBA first round playoffs I've ever seen. I blame the play-in because the Miami Heat go and play a play-in. They have to get in. 2 days later, they're in Boston against the number 1 seed. They get drugged. Every game was horrible except for last night's Thunder Pelicans game without Zion. All the other games were fucking shit. I was very disinterested. But it's to your point, like, I think these teams walk into the playoffs thinking it's regular season. That's what Haney did walking into that fight, thought it was a sparring session. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. I don't believe there's a professionalism out there that these cats take because they get so much money. They take so much money, Smitty, beforehand that if you got that bag, Smitty, like, seriously, how motivated are you to be the greatest version of Smitty you can be if I gave you $100 million today?
I hear what you're saying. Haney isn't the right example, though. Haney isn't the right example. Yeah. What you're saying overall is true, but Haney isn't an example of that. Haney is a guy who you go over his career. He's very professional, never misses a weight. He's locked in, says the right things. He went out there ready to fucking go. And he lost against somebody who's a better man that night. The point blank period. I don't want to belittle Ryan Garcia's win by, you know what I'm saying?
The greatest boxers, though, and Steve will tell you this, and really the greatest athletes ever, in boxing particularly, you can be great, but you also have to have the ability to sell things, right? Yeah. Look at every great fighter ever. They all had that ability, whether it's Mike Tyson or
Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, fucking McGregor on UFC. Like,
here's the
anybody
thing,
can put content out, but you got to get people to listen to it and want to consume it, right? Podcasts don't succeed. Some do, some don't.
I'm trying to grow my other shit. I got to talk to you on the side and figure out how we can make this shit happen.
Here's the other thing, though. The greats, though, the elite of the elite in their specific sport or genre, they don't take anything lightly. This kid took him lightly, and in that ring, it was clear as day. Because if he didn't, Smitty, he wouldn't have been such a fucking favorite. If he was so good, and why was he so favorited then? Because he was clear-cut favorite, and he took it lightly and got his ass dominated from front to back.
Let me educate you though, JB, because boxing. Steve ain't here. Steve ain't here, so I'm the biggest boxing person here right now because Steve ain't here. At the end of the day, reason why Devin Haney was the more favorite because as we saw from rounds 2 through 6, from a pure boxing standpoint, the simplest way of understand what is boxing. Hit without being hit back as much as you can. That's the most simple definition of it. When it comes to the pure round by round skill set of boxing, everybody in mama knew that Haney was the better pure boxer. But we also knew that when it came to speed and power and size, Ryan Garcia had that. So all the people who bet on Ryan Garcia went into the fight knowing that the only way this guy could win is by knocking this motherfucker out, basically. And what happened was, I don't think Haney took him lightly at all. No, he got fucking hit in the mouth. Everybody comes in with a game plan until they get punched in the mouth. A great legend once said that. He got hit in the mouth, caught with a quick hook in the first minute of the fight. You know what that does to your psyche? When you're like, oh shit, I didn't know the motherfucker was this fast.
But
I
that's
thought he's
why, and that's to your point. That's why we have people that never played putting stars on high school kids, and why Mina Kimes is telling people how good quarterbacks are. That's
leave Mina alone. Leave Mina alone.
Jeff, I got to ask you before you get out of here on your wheelhouse, the criminal landscape of the country right now. Like, do you have the same sentiment or feeling that I get when I drive around my city streets? Here's what I want to get this take for both of you. I have it's very crazy and weird to think this way, but it's true. And I'm thinking this way. I have like a gut instinct and feeling that I'm walking around and I can do anything I want to do and not really get arrested for it, not really get charged for anything. I'm seeing the most laxed coverage by police, number one, by law enforcement, two, and the stringent rules and laws strictly that are occurring in this country for someone that does actually do a crime. I'm trying to see, do you feel the same way? And why is that? Because I feel like I can just get in the carpool lane right now by myself. No issue. I feel like back in the day, Jeff, my point, I used to walk on eggshells doing anything because I know I'd get pulled over. I'd get arrested. I'd do some time for doing something I wasn't supposed to do. Nowadays, I don't think people give a fuck.
Well, I guess it really depends what you're looking to do. I mean, if you're looking to, transport, 15 kilos of coke, that probably wouldn't be a great idea because you're going to hit with federal crimes. Yeah, you're going to be hit with federal crimes. You're going to deal with some very bad people. But look, if you're going out and just trying to stick people up, yeah, I mean, if you're in LA, you're probably going to get away with it. Now, that said, the town that I live in, you're not going to get away with shit here. We actually believe in law and order where I live in this town. But it really depends. In your city, yeah, you can pretty much do what you want at this point. You just got to worry about what kind of case you're going to catch. But yeah, if you're sticking people up with a gun, yeah, you could probably get out within 12 hours. Absolutely. You can go in and steal shit and nothing will happen to you. That's just that's the hand you're dealt where you live. They just don't put people in prison.
I got a video I sent you on Twitter. I wanted to show it real quick.
I believed in this for years. This is a fact. It's been going on, and I'll explain it.
You talking about the video I sent you?
Yes.
Bailey, if he can get it in. He's putting it in right now. Yeah, I've heard the same thing. I know you've been talking about shit like this for a while. I know we're 4 minutes over. Pound the like, subscribe. Make sure you follow Jeff on his YouTube channel. The sit down. Here we go right here.
Marine listen, man.
Context, Jeff. This guy's arrested behind bars talking, or in a cop car talking about what's going on.
Really on orders. Okay. And you probably don't believe me, and you probably don't even care, and it's okay. But people are getting hurt, and this ties into a whole bunch of stuff. They've been selling our weapons and our fucking military equipment over in Mexico to the cartels. And I've been able to prove that, and that's why I'm supposed to go back to the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, because there's boats. If you ride around in Chula Vista and go right over there by fucking, what is that called? The industrial plaza. By the Food for Less, and you'll see there's Navy boats that came from the SEAL boat installation that they took out, and they're taking them apart and they're taking them across the border. All of this stuff is going across the border, and I'm not lying to you, man.
Well, Marine, I wish you all the luck. Semper Fi. I'm a former Marine myself.
We're gonna need a lot more than luck. If those cartel members use that stuff against us, and they are going to use that stuff against us, we're gonna need a lot more than luck.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Godspeed.
Why was he being arrested? Anyone know?
No.
So go ahead, Jeff. Break that down.
Yeah, listen, there's a program, and this was one of Barack Obama's worst policies he's ever put into office. There was a Fast and Furious. It was a program where we were legally arming other countries. Listen, you realize we legally armed Osama bin Laden back when he was fighting the Soviet Union.
Iran too.
Right. And remember too, like for instance, and I've said this for years, and there's proof to back it up. The leader of the Sinaloa cartel, a person called Elmayo Zambada, is an asset for the CIA and DEA. It's a fact. Everybody knows it. He's never been arrested. He's 80 years old. He's never been arrested. Look into it. They allow this shit to happen. They've armed these people. Why do you think they look like military installations? Pull up a video of the CJNG cartel right now. They look like a fucking military unit. They've got RPGs. They're suited and booted with every weapon they need. They've got grenades. They've got all sorts of things. And where does it come from? I talked to a DEA agent that was shot in Mexico. I talked to him several months ago. He was shot with a weapon from the United States in the hands of a member of Los Zetas, a violent drug cartel. How did he get those weapons? How did those weapons come in? The U.S. gave them to him. That guy's 100% right. But the problem is we paint that guy as, oh, he's just a psycho. He doesn't know anything. He's a lunatic speaking conspiracy theories. We want to bury our head in the sand. This has all happened for years.
Damn.
Yeah, it's deep because we don't really know this. I got a very interesting call from my brother who's in the Air Force, who's been a fighter pilot for since '86, and this whole Dubai situation of rain. And I made a funny tweet on Saturday, but it's like true. Like, why is fucking every weekend in LA cloudy and rainy, and during the week it's sunny as fuck? And I'm like, dog, is this really just nature? Like, something's going on. And I got a very interesting take about it, and it has a lot to do with just fucking sunlight and vitamin D, but that's a whole nother discussion that I won't share.
Let me ask you really quick. Do you, like, these people talk about terrorism all the time. We created terrorism. Okay, we allowed those people to be armed. We then went into their country and fucked with them hard, which created these insurgent groups that fought back against us. The same way, Smitty, if you lived in LA and you banded together with your neighbors when people tried to run into your neighborhood. Like, if someone ran into your yard, you would defend it. The same thing here. Like, we are the poison. This country's the poison. When we get involved, everything's fucked. We need to stay the fuck out of things that aren't concerning us. By the way, yet another $90 billion went to other foreign countries. We don't, and it's not their money. That's the thing. It's Smitty's money. It's Billy the Kid Balboa's money. It's Bailey's money. It's money.
You know what it is? I'm gonna be honest, and I've done enough. It's really just outside the box thinking that so many people are pegged in social media that they see some tweet and then they think that's exactly how it operates. It's not. The truth of the matter is $90 billion doesn't, in fact, go to Ukraine. What it does is, and remember, I got a guy in the military that's a family member that's been in this thing. What it does is it goes to these politicians that send the money to Ukraine, and then they turn around and take that money and they put it towards their party in voting for the U.S. presidency. And a lot of people don't see it that way, and it's crazy when you think about it. It's like, wait up. So basically it's money laundering, Jeff, and it's really misappropriation of funding. When we have places like Maui on the continental U.S. or in the United States, not continental, but in the United States, that is still has homeless from fires 10 months ago that we haven't fucking rectified. We haven't paid out insurance money. Do you know no one's got insurance money? You know, I have Smitty, you know my boy Ruben who plays poker with us?
Yeah.
His sister is the Lexus CEO in Maui. She just came home. Her rental house burned down. She said that they will not release the number of bodies and kids and people that were killed in that thing. And not one person has got an insurance claim from any of it. And there's people living on the beach in tents all over. They haven't shown one time on social media because they're covering that shit up. And I'm like, damn, but we send $90 billion to Ukraine and Taiwan and Iran, Israel. It's like, dog, we got bigger issues right here on our land that we won't address. And we're becoming so, I guess, inferior because I think you can infiltrate us from a million different ways now, Jeff.
This is why these fucking people that band together, I love this politician, I love that politician. Motherfucker, they don't give a fuck about you, and they will send your daughter or son to die with no fucking consequence. They sit up there and they watch everything else happening. Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck about you. These people that worship Donald Trump or whoever, they don't fucking care about you. They will send your son to die with, and guess what they'll do? They'll give you a fucking flag in return and say, "Oh, sorry, this happened."
It's a joke. It's bad, man.
We're not fighting for our freedom anymore. We're fighting proxy wars for other fucking countries. We're not fighting for
We need to band together and start creating something because it's in the Constitution, by the way. It's in the fucking Constitution. If the government who is here by law to serve the American people, not to rob us blind of our money and our fucking livelihoods, like it's supposed to serve us and protect us from other foreign countries, Jeff. If that's not happening, then we need to band together and say, fuck you. Like, that's what
By the way, I mean, and I'm just going to be honest. If you actually fucking think your life's going to change one fucking bit when we have another election in 6 months, I got a fucking beach house in Iowa to sell you. It's not going to happen. And then there'll be excuses as to why that didn't work. And then, it's always something.
Real quick, I want to give you a little update on this quarterback. And I want to just to end the show with this. We're 10 minutes past. I want to end the Drake May take that you had earlier. This is a Division III kid by the name of James Cahoon. A buddy of mine coaches him out at Bridgewater State. It's a D3 school. I want you to see the ball pop off this kid's arm versus Drake May. This is a D3 kid. Drake May doesn't look anything like this kid right here.
13 touchdowns, 4 picks in his last season at the D3.
By the way, that's Will Levis shit. Will Levis like. This is the arm. See the ball just come off his wrist. If you look at Drake May compared to him, it's not even close. But this is what the NFL drafts. The NFL drafts guys that are big name, big school versus a guy that's at a D3 school for whatever reason. I went D2, Jeff. So,
And Matt McChesney, this is a real quarterback.
This is a guy, like, look at him and Shedeur Sanders. Do you tell me that ball drops off like that?
Yeah, that's a real quarterback.
It's I ain't trying to disrespect nobody. It's a reason you go D3 though. Well, it's a reason. Like if you're so good, you're not going D3. It's a reason I went to the MAC.
Not anymore.
If I was so good, I would have went to SEC. There's a reason to go to certain level. And then in his last season at the D3, if you're gonna go D3, sometimes scouts get it wrong. Sometimes coaches get it wrong. Cool. Well, you better ball the fuck out. The man had 13 touchdowns and 4 picks.
Smitty, this is not the same football. Come on now. This is not the same football. They're not drafting him for his D3 stats, and you don't know what happened. Did he play? Did he get hurt? Did he miss? Here's the thing. This kid right here is a kid that you see at a D3 now in the landscape of football because he went D1, Smitty, out of high school. He goes D2, then you go D3 because you don't want to sit in the portal. Kids are doing shit all over the place now. It's not the same football that you and I played. It's not the same football that's getting recruited out of high school. These kids ain't getting the same.
Let me ask you this. You show that clip to show what? Are you saying he's just better than Drake May?
No, what I'm saying is the ball popping off his hand, that's an NFL quarterback, what it looks like to be a big-time. Drake May doesn't even closely resemble that guy, and he's at a big-time school.
Watch the tape at the end of the day. All that air shit, I don't care about the air.
Here's my point. There's guys out here, though, that we got to turn over rocks to find, and we get real lazy. And it comes to recruiting. It comes to drafting. We get very, very lazy now in this overall picture of things. And there's guys out there that you can find. So I'm just telling you, don't be shocked if this motherfucker's a guy, Mr. Irrelevant one day, and we're like, damn, this motherfucker's a freak. Who's he? Where'd he come from? Yeah. I'm telling you, Drake May will be a bust and be like, damn, he went to North Carolina.
This cat might win 6 Super Bowls, man. We'll see.
Hey, shout out to Jeff for staying on with us. All the real talk.
Shout out to me. Shit.
Hey, Jeff, tonight, Lakers, Nuggets.
Fuck the Lakers. I bet those clowns on Saturday.
Fuck, I did too. God damn it.
They forgot about the second half. I do like the Sixers tonight, though.
It's LaFrown, man. This motherfucker LaFlopped in the fourth quarter again, and the Lakers were up 13 in the first half. Look good. Joker cannot stop AD, and neither can anybody on that team. If AD plays, no one can stop him. He'll average 40 a game.
But that won't be enough, though, JB. The problem is D-Lo played trash. Austin Reeves was average. The others have to play. You know why? Because the Denver Nuggets are deep.
The hype that Austin Reeves gets, he's garbage. I'm just telling you right now.
He's average.
He's a fucking nobody in the playoffs.
But that's the problem. The Nuggets are deep. So even if LeBron AD averages fucking 60 points together, that won't be enough. It just won't be.
I gotta roll with the Lakers tonight, Jeff, just because the money and because they gotta have some sort of pride as a team like the Lakers to win one fucking. There's no way, because if they lose tonight, they're swept again. It's like there's no way you're gonna win 2 in LA. Even if you won 2 in LA, you're still not gonna get home court. You gotta win one of these to even be taken serious.
Yeah, I think the thought is, just because you lose game 1, you're gonna come back and win game 2 because you have, listen, sweeps happen, especially in these first rounds. If Denver plays a modicumly similar to the way they did in the second half, they'll win. I didn't have much.
Joker didn't even ball out fully like that game 1. That's the scary thing. He didn't even go crazy.
The Sixers tonight. That's what
I do like the Sixers tonight. I like the Sixers. I like the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are going to gentlemen sweep the Lakers. I think Lakers will get 1 here in LA just off the energy of the being in stables, etc. But I think the Lakers lose tonight for sure. Close game. Sixers will win.
By the way, just for anyone playing along at home, on February 5th, I won a huge horse race. You guys remember that? That horse is racing today in the 3rd at Parks. Omerta Code, the 5. That horse is back today.
Are you betting on him again, or?
I'm including him, yes, on my tickets. Yes, of course.
I'm including him. Okay.
I have to.
Love it.
Well,
Jeff, we appreciate you, my guy, man. We'll see you again Friday. If you want to come before that, that's cool. Let us know. And chat, we appreciate y'all. We had about 3,600 people in here. YouTube was popping. We might have got over 1,000 on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, and other 2,000 came from other sites. So appreciate y'all. Make sure you join us on Winnable. I already made my picks my little parlay earlier this morning on there. So check that out. And we're gonna be back here tomorrow, man. Tank Johnson's gonna join us. Steve Kim's gonna talk a little bit more about the boxing with Ryan Garcia and getting called out there. And that's about it, man. So JB, you got any last words?
No. Everything I say is fact. Everything Smitty says is bullshit. Everything Jeff says is mid, and that's where we are. Mid. I hate that fucking word. Mid. What happened to that's what she said, Jeff, instead of pause. Fucking pause. God damn, I'm tired of hearing.
Hey, real quick, before we go here, what's this information I got coming out here? Can I talk about this, Coach? This is interesting.
You can.
Huh?
You can mention it. If you want to read it. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know.
Listen, people of Colorado, you want to tout this new guy, Dayon Hayes, this savior that you just got in the transfer portal. What if I told you he beat women? Would that be something you're interested in? Maybe I'll have to talk about that soon on the sit down.
Who's this?
This Dayon Hayes kid. I'm getting some information coming across that he also doused his girlfriend in bleach and tried to slam her into a wall in 2022. Maybe I should talk about this.
So are you saying that this is something that they're taking but losing Kermani because he apparently didn't go to class or something?
Yeah, listen to this. The complaint would further state that during a struggle, Mr. Hayes grabbed a full fist of hair and pulled her head back because she was wearing a wig. She was able to free herself before Hayes forced her head to the surface of the wall and held her there, police said. Hayes refused to allow her to leave and eventually slammed the door on her right thigh, according to a police complaint. Officer Brandon Woods would then write in the complaint that he saw a, quote, red strip, which began its swelling around the inside of her thigh and a bruise on the outside of her left hand. What about that?
Mr. Go, shout out. Yeah, I don't know, Bat. I don't know, Jeff. I want to do some research on this as well. I might have to bring it up tomorrow. It's a lot going on, man, this transfer portal era. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's funny and ironic. I wouldn't take a player that fucked with a female or had an issue with a female.
But you also had situations where your players have gotten accused and you found out. So let's make sure we do the full research deep dive before we accuse either way. Once we know, we'll come back and
well, listen,
talk
I
about
just want to make this clear. That was from a complaint. That was from an arrest complaint. Just putting that out.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You got to do a research first. Because you did lead with, what if I told you that the player you just got beats women? So I'm saying when you leave with that type of energy, people are going to hear that and automatically think, oh, this guy does it. Maybe he did. I don't know yet. But let's do the research first before we put it out there. And I'm done talking.
We didn't hear that about Cormani McLean. We just got mad because you didn't go to class.
Smitty, I said I didn't take him new. I'm not talking about.
No, I'm talking to Jeff when I said that. JB.
No, I know, but you said that I don't take player, but I said I don't take the player. That doesn't mean it didn't happen after I took him. He got accused on my watch, and then I defended him because I knew he was right.
Right.
I'm talking about if you had an issue at another school, I didn't take you to my school.
Got you.
we'll end it at that. We'll have to talk about this again. Maybe Jeff will talk about this in depth on his show. He has the information. We'll dive into it.
Appreciate y'all, man. 4-hour show. Coach Davis, hey, love you, Coach Davis. I'm gonna see you in the Discord. Markel, hey, do your thing. Hey, join us on Winnable. Jeff is giving us picks right now on Winnable. Right now. Like right now.
Right now, horse racing, horse buggy. We got fucking dune racing. We got everything on Winnable. Come on over there. Badminton, soccer, fucking you name it. Fucking
lacrosse,
underwater basket weaving,
kite flying.
Who's the president of the U.S. next election? We got the odds going on that.
NFL draft.
We are going to have that with Jeff.
JB's putting exclusive videos of his AE on there. You got to see it on there to see it. Like everything's on Winnable. Bats, fucking parties.
Jeff drinking fucking Modelo or whatever.
Everything's on Winnable.
I don't even drink Modelo. Stella, bro.
Stella. You know what? I had a Stella this weekend. It was finally the sun.
All right, yo, we go keep on going.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. Love y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Issues get pressed so fast you don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown, kill the yeah, it's a rap. We what the game's been missing. We switch.